Are you ready to amplify your business or brand's reach and make a meaningful impact in Ghana and beyond? Partner with GhanaTalks Radio today to connect with a diverse audience across Ghana and beyond. Elevate your brand through on-air promotions and social media. Boost your brand during prime time. With GhanaTalks Radio, you can extend your reach across digital platforms. GhanaTalks Radio is not just a station, it is a community hub where your brand becomes part of the conversation. Join us in fostering connections, celebrating culture, and making a lasting impression. For customized sponsorship packages and enquiries, email contact@GhanaTalksRadio.com or call +233 202 544614. GhanaTalks Radio, giving the youth a voice.
What do you want for breakfast? How do you want your breakfast?
English breakfast, French fries.
Koko nikosi, alo komi kesheto.
Wache.
Well, Gobe is the real deal.
Join us on Ghana Talks Radio. Let's serve you a buffet of breakfast.
From news headlines review, current affairs to social issues.
Entertainment, sports, and all the trending stories live on our mobile app and across all socials from Monday to Friday 7 a.m. to 10 a.m.
With me, Pakwesi Omare,
Regina Bless,
Deborah Adoso,
and I am Esinal Fiagbedu. This is Ghana Talks Breakfast Show.
Ghana Talks Radio, #1.
This is Ghana Talks Breakfast Show, your morning companion.
Ghana Talks Radio, #1. Ghana Talks Radio, #1.
This is Ghana Talks Breakfast Show, your morning companion.
This is Ghana Talks Breakfast Show, your morning companion. Good morning to us all, and you are welcome to a brand new week. And you're also welcome to the Ghana Talks Breakfast Show right here on Ghana Talks Radio. This is a news headline review. Right here, we bring you all the relevant stories making waves in the news, from business to politics, from sports to entertainment. We got you covered with the most relevant stories and informed perspectives on issues that matter to you every morning right here on the show. I am your host, Ruth Esinam Fiekbedu. Sitting in the studios right here with me is Miss Deborah Adoso and Miss Regina Bless, who will be sharing their thoughts on the news. Good morning to you, ladies.
Good morning.
How are we doing?
I'm good. The grace is sufficient.
Miss Debbie?
The grace of God is sufficient.
Right. I love your shirt.
Thank you, ma.
It's giving floral.
Thank you. Your shirt is not bad either.
Oh, thank you. Right. Let's dive into our major news discussion for this morning. And this is coming from Manasseh Azuri. Use diplomacy, public pressure to extradite Oforiatta. Investigative journalist Manasseh Azuri Awuni is calling on the Ghanaian government to go beyond court processes and use diplomacy and public pressure to bring back former Finance Minister Ken Oforiatta to Ghana to face accountability. Speaking on the issue, Manasseh said that while extradition laws are important, powerful people often use money, influence, and top lawyers to delay justice, especially when cases cross international borders. He believes Ghana still has influence through diplomacy and international relations and should not act as if it is powerless. Manasseh also questioned why the extradition request was sent almost a year after Ken Ofori-Atta left Ghana. According to him, the delay has made the process more difficult, noting that there was no active investigation at the time the finance minister traveled. He linked the issue to the daily struggles of ordinary Ghanaians, especially pensioners and investors who have lost access to their money due to past economic decisions. People who serve this country cannot afford medication, while those who supervise these decisions are abroad, he added. Manasseh urged citizens to apply sustained public pressure through peaceful protests, petitions, and engagement with international partners. He stressed that accountability often comes when citizens remain alert and refuse to be silent. Power lessens when citizens refuse to go to sleep, he said. So this is coming from Manasseh Azuri Awuni, who is an investigative journalist, and then he brought on board that Ghana should use diplomacy and public pressure to extradite Ken Ofori-Atta to come back to the country to face accountability, where people can go for a peaceful protest, send petitions, and do what it takes to make sure that Ken Ofori-Atta comes back to the country to come and face accountability. Ms. Gina, do you think we have gotten to that point where we can buy into Manasseh's suggestion?
So, okay. So, from my point of view, I don't think using public pressure would is it a W? Quicken the process. Yes, quicken the process of bringing back. We are looking at laws right here. We are not looking at just any kind of law. This is supposed to be a collaboration between the government of Ghana and where the country in particular is involved. And also looking at the case of Ken Ofori-Atta, I would say that he's using his influence and also his money involved. If he didn't have the money, there's no way he would have been able to take US of top lawyers to represent him. So this should tell you, say, we are not fighting just an ordinary battle. We have a lot on our plate. And as I said the last time, you have to take legal documents. You have to send your petition to this country, the ambassadors, the rights people, to make sure that your petition or your case is being heard. Now, with the alcohol, they have to follow due process to make sure that the extradition moves smoothly. And see, what are we doing? So we should go on demonstration. Oh yes, I think it's a contributing factor, but demonstration and the other stuffs wouldn't 100% bring him back.
Miss Debbie.
So I like this part. Power lessens when citizens refuse to go to sleep. You see, I think the only language we understand has to do with demonstration. And I've seen positive results after demonstration, especially if a government is refusing to heed to his calls or do the right thing. And then you see citizens protesting over and over again. It's more this kind of pressure on the leader. And then you are forced to take the step. You are forced to do according to their wish, because I'm not sure they brought you to power or they give you that note to come and sleep. No. So let me use example. This current administration promised us a lot, and then we all understood that the first term of every government is to fix the mess of previous administration. Yes. So we are expecting President Mahama to do 90 or complete 90% of the promises he made to us from 2026 till 2028, when he will be leaving office, and then there will be another election, right? That is what you're expecting. So imagine 2026, 2027, we are not seeing what he said he would do. He was not able to fulfill 20% of what he promised. What do you think we will do? Definitely citizens will go on street, demonstrate, call on the government. And trust me, the more you put pressure on these people, they will hit your cause. We were in this country where we had instances where nurses says they are not being paid. Teachers came out protesting. Sometimes they protest this over and over again. When they protest and they feel like the government is not replying to their message or is not replying to their call, they go on strike for 1 month. And the government knows that you cannot keep quiet because we have students in school. They've paid fees to be taught. So if I am the government and I'm supposed to disburse funds for these people, make sure that they are very comfortable in teaching the students. And I don't do that. And these teachers go on strike. Mind you, the students are going to suffer. They've paid fees. They've hit to the necessary calls or proceedings that they're supposed to do. And then you, the government, who are supposed to complete your 50% of the contract and let them go ahead with their work, you're not doing it. And then you feel so reluctant. When these people go on strike like 3 months, which is it closer? NAT, what was it? NAGRAT and NAT, Ghana Education Graduate Teachers Association. Those people, they used to go on strike a lot. And we all know when they go on strike like 2, 3, 4 times, so better the government will be like, oh, let's go to the dialogue table. They judge on the matter now. 2 to 3 months. Is it that they pay them half of their money and then they assure them that they are going to do that, and then they come back on the table and gradually you see they talk to them, they convince them, they pay them half of their amount, and then they go back to class. So although this, I would say that, well, it is not solid, but at least it will help. If we should mount pressure on the government that, listen, you cannot come to office, hold a position, and after you leave the office, we encounter losses, and the person who is supposed to account to us is outside the country, and then OSP can't wait, or China Attorney General can't wait. The next day the president is saying this, we don't even know who to listen to. As it stands now, kind of a real test issue. Obia, no one knows how it's going to end. And trust me, we've lost trust. And then, yes, we've lost trust in this issue because we know that definitely let me put it that way. Because we've seen instances like this and then we've seen no result. So if the citizens should mount pressure on the government, that this is your responsibility. When we mount pressure on the government, the president will also mount pressure on the OSP. You have to do your work. You cannot be in the office and be sleeping. You have to do your work and ensure that kind of a reactor is needed in the country.
Right.
We've seen people, the other time we use Abu Trikhouse for example here, and you see, when you say US, no, they are very particular when it comes to criminal cases.
Yes.
They don't want their name to be tarnished or buttressed with soil. So anytime they hear something like criminal, and you know they have, I'm sure their security personnel over there collaborated with our security, and then they were able to arrest Abu Trik, and then so what is keeping what is dragging our feet from bringing Ken Oforiatta back into the country? So we are doing all this because we need transparency, we need fairness, we want to promote accountability. You cannot be in when this thing continues. Trust me, if Ken Oforiatta doesn't come to this country, if Ken Oforiatta is not being questioned, if Ken Oforiatta did not, yes, if he is not able to account to us, how he was able to, I wouldn't say he has embezzled that money because the court is here to prove him guilty. So I can't say that, but how that money got missing, you're supposed to tell us how it got missing. So in a way, citizens mounting pressure, it's not solid, but it's okay, because the more you mount pressure on the person, you think you come back to life, and then you believe you definitely tell yourself that you're supposed to do so. If we don't mount pressure on the government, he will feel reluctant. OSP will also feel reluctant. The necessary bodies that are supposed to hold this man responsible and drag him like a magnet force back into this country, they are all sleeping. So if we don't take our guard and ensure that these people do the right thing, see, 2028 is just in a corner. We will sleep and wake up right now. We are in 2028 and not a single person has been arrested. So it's what Manasseh Azure, in a way, there's an iota of truth in what he's saying. We have to mount,
and mount pressure
on the government.
Right. Miss Eugenia, please, do you think that delaying the extradition in a way made our case look weak?
Okay, so I believe from the onset we had evidence, we had facts. So I do agree with Manasi. In fact, we all need to question why the extradition process took that long. Why was it delayed? Because we have everything on grounds to make sure that this man is brought into the country. As Ms. Debbie said, one thing US is known for is not to be associated with crimes, and if anyone is in their country who is tagged with crime, I believe if we follow the due process we can get him. One thing we also need to ask ourselves, why is it that when other countries want to arrest someone in our country, a criminal in our country, an extradition process goes through, why is it quick? Why are we so eager to release the person? That is one thing we need to ask ourselves. But here is the case. Ghana and so the Omodieko, up to now, we are still battling it. For a criminal, an alleged criminal, to have the, should I say, the audacity to even pay US top officials or top lawyers to even help him with the case, that should send a signal to us. So in a way, but I wouldn't say 100% delaying the extradition process weakened our case. No matter how long a criminal is being tossed in court, at the end of the day, a final verdict will be given. So the only thing I can say is the right sources or the right stakeholders or the right personnel involved in this case should make sure that they see to it that the battle at the end of the day is fought fairly.
It's fought fairly. Right. Moving on. Akufo-Addo should have been impeached over Galamsey, Appiah Dankwa. Legal Director of the United Party, Andrew Appiah Dankwa, says Ghana missed a major opportunity to hold former President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo accountable over illegal mining, also known as Galamsey. According to him, the former president should have been impeached for supporting policies that allowed mining in forest reserves, especially through legislative instrument 2462. He described the decision as a serious crime against Ghana's environment. Mr. Appiah Dankwa explained that before 2022, no president had the power to approve mining in forest reserves. However, LI 2462 changed that, giving the president discretionary power to allow mining in protected forests. He believes this directly worsened Galamsey, leading to massive forest destruction and water pollution. He said Ghanaians failed to act constitutionally to impeach the former president and described this as a national disappointment. He also criticized members of the NPP, saying they lack the moral authority to speak on the Galamsey crisis, given their role in passing and defending the law. His comments come after Parliament repealed LI 2462, the Environmental Protection, which is mining in forest reserves, Revocation Instrument 2025, officially became law on December 10, 2025, following sustained public pressure and advocacy. The repeal has reopened national debates about accountability, environmental protection, and whether political leaders should face consequences for policies that damage Ghana's natural resources. Do you think that the former president, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, should be held responsible for how Galamsey, or to the extent Galamsey has got into now? Ms. Uchina?
Okay. So one thing I know for sure is the old people always, that is our elders, they always say something that when it comes to leadership, the decisions, the opinions, whatever decisions our leaders take have a lasting effect on the people. So the LI was appealed. then times the president had the power to give the mining license to these people to mine in forest reserves. So now that our environments have been degraded, have been destroyed, our water bodies have changed color, who is to be blamed? Me? No. The ordinary citizen? No. Who gave the go ahead? Who gave the power? That person is supposed to be held accountable. There's no way I will do something wrong in this office and another person will be held accountable for that. It is not done. Whatever you do, whatever you say, you have to dance to the music according to how you started the beats. You would have to dance to it. So I agree, the former president needs to be impeached because he was the one, should I say, he's like a breadwinner. Yes, he's the breadwinner because he's the one feeding us. He's the one doing all sorts of things. And he's the one who gave the go-ahead to these people to mine in the forest reserves. Yakokando would be like, we shouldn't politicize Galamsey. But this happened under the administration of Nana Addo, and he's the one who is supposed to take the blame for it, not President Mahama. According to some people, Galamsey started way back before President Mahama came to power. According to some people, it started during his tenure, and I've even heard discussions that it started during even your friend is saying Kwame Nkrumah time na ebi wo ho. But we don't know what the truth is. But what we know, they say Galamsey went south, or it was a say crowd during the former administration. So he needs to be impeached. But Akoya say Ghana Hano, it's very difficult for you to even send a petition against the president. Someone who was once a president. It's very difficult for us to hold our leaders or our presidents responsible for their own action. Whereas in other countries, they are able to go as far as arresting these politicians who are leaders, presidents, vice presidents, ex-finance minister, whatsoever you are, the position you hold. Once you are at fault, they would arrest you. Make sure that you pay for whatever damage you caused the country. And if your offense is that bad enough, you can even be killed. But Ghana is a free man's land where they do whatever they want. If we don't start from the people who caused harm to the country, we can't fight corruption. If today, at the end of Mahama's time, Ken Ofori-Atta is not brought to the country, we can't fight corruption. Because of all the presidents I've heard of, it's only John Dramani Mahama who came and said specifically that he is ready to fight corruption. And so I know you're willing to fight corruption and he's not able to fight corruption. Who again will fight corruption? We will not fight it. So a former president, he has to be ready. Because if some people don't do, he should be rest assured that the youth will be on his neck. He will surrender himself willingly.
Well, it's quite unfortunate he's no longer the president, so that impeachment thing cannot happen.
It can still happen.
You think it can still happen?
It can happen.
Someone is accused or charged, and the case is vivid. Why not? We will send it to court, and the court will deliberate on the issue. So during the previous administration, we saw reckless issuance of mining leases and regulatory failure. So according to the little research I did, they gave a mining leases of 2,000 to people to mine in the forest reserves and our water bodies. So imagine this kind of people moving in the forest reserves. So this is it. Galamsey started way back, we understand it, but let's be sincere with ourselves. It became so rampant during the previous administration. We are not trying to buttress this whole issue with politics, but let's just be sincere and take away the lenses of politics aside. Galamsey became so intense during the previous administration. We saw today, you will hear that this forest has been destroyed, that forest has been destroyed, this water has been polluted, and then times you could even see media people moving from those big waters we know, like River Pra, River Yensu, River Densu, and then you see that these waters are destroyed. They are totally contaminated. They are no longer clear like the water we used to know, like the rivers we used to see, the greenish environment we used to feel before. Now even the breeze have changed. And from one born assasa or assasa. Yes, assasa. Even the water you drink, sometimes you drink the water and there is sort of changes. I know that before water gets to you or before you open your tap, it has gone through a lot of processes and then you get the clean water we drink. It has been filtrated and all that. But sometimes you still feel some kind of wavy. It should tell you that this galamsey sort of has had a very adverse effect, negative one of course, on our natural reserves. So who should we blame? This is the president who told us that he's putting his presidency on the line to fight galamsey. But what did we see? We saw the opposite of what he told us. Allegedly, we had how will I even say it? We were tipped off that some members or some of his appointees were involved in galamsey. We saw instances where some of his appointees came on live radio, live television with gold, showing us that this is real gold, and then you cannot talk because he is in power, so you have no say. It was during that same time that we have massive demonstration against galamsey, because we realize that where it has gotten to is becoming so much, because you can see a video where water has now become so yellowish that you cannot use it for anything. And then you see residents who live in that area suffers the most. And that is why sometimes it hurts me when these same residents back what they do. And sometimes I imagine where they get water to drink, or maybe they are comfortable with buying pure water. If you should be buying pure water to bath, can you survive for a whole month? No, divide your salary by 2, and then you use like half of your salary to buy water and bath, because you cannot tell me you won't eat. You need to eat, and this same water is used in doing this. So for former president, yes, he needs to be impeached. It's very, very necessary.
For misconduct.
Yes, you
are allowing such a law to come and damage
to damage our water body. It was, as I said, 2,000 leases given to people to mine in the forest reserve. This is not something we should take lightly. At all. They've destroyed 50 or 70% of our forest reserves and our water bodies. So this man, he needs to be questioned. It's kind of painful. I think the constitution needs to be reviewed in a way that part that states that a former president can only be interviewed or maybe brought before the law or before the court for accountability and all that after 10 years. We need to change that, because immediately you leave office, you need to account for us. You've placed your presidency on the line. After you are leaving office, we had the worst. In fact, we recorded the worst ever in fighting illegal money. What happened? What measures did you put in place? Or maybe I've placed these measures in place and I am fat. Maybe my appointees disappointed me. He was not even able to arrest even one ghost. Then we will say that, well, he did something. No, he did. For me, galamsey during the previous administration was very, 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 very bad.
Asat is, what of Asat now?
Asat now, there is no change either. It's still the same thing we are seeing. We are just hoping that as time goes on, we'll get to hear a good news. That is what we are hoping
let's
for.
hope so. Use property rate to improve sanitation. Ahmed Ibrahim to MMDAs. The Minister for Local Government, Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs, Ahmed Ibrahim, has directed metropolitan, municipal and district assemblies to use money they collect locally, especially property rate, to improve sanitation in their communities. Speaking during an unannounced visit to Kole Klote municipal assemblies on Saturday, the minister said keeping towns and cities clean is not only the responsibility of residents, but primarily that of the assemblies. He explained that MMDAs receive money from 2 main sources: internally generated funds such as property rates and the sanitation component of the district assembly's common fund. According to him, these funds should be used to employ sanitation workers, clear waste regularly, and manage refuse effectively, rather than relying only on occasional cleanup exercises like National Sanitation Days. Mr. Ibrahim stressed that since assemblies now collect property rates themselves, they must reinvest that money directly into keeping communities clean. He warned that sanitation should not be treated as a seasonal activity, especially around festive periods, but as a continuous responsibility throughout the year. Do you think that is a good call, using the internally generated funds to, invest it into sanitation and improve our communities?
Yeah, it is a good call. It's a good call because I feel the assembly has that role, that is part of their responsibility to ensure that the environment is being kept clean. And the fact that we have a fixed date for cleaning the environment, I feel like the environment should be cleaned personally every day. Yes, it should be kept clean every day, because every day you eat, there are hackers all around, people selling, food vendors all around, and then you go there to buy your food. Sometimes when you look at the environment where people see to sell their food, is very, very bad. And then you also see people buying that same food. Well, they have no choice. But you see, the assembly also take levies. They go around the market taking levies. So what do they use that money for? That money should be used in paying laborers to keep their communities clean, to keep the environment clean, ensure that every day, every blessed day, the gutters are being cleared from debris. They're taking out what is not supposed to be in the environment. So sanitation is something that I feel like we should pay critical attention to. And I like the fact that this, in a way, they are thinking of handing it solemnly to the assembly. Assembly, you're in charge of the community. That is what you should do. You should ensure that the community is kept clean. And as I said, they take levies. They take, you see them with the lampo bag. I don't know whether you know lampo bag. That bag, they hold lampo. You know lampo bag. That is where they've been taking the taxes in there, keeping the money. Or sometimes you see them hanging a lampo bag here, and then walking about with receipts. You pay them 5 cedi a day, and then they take you. So all that money, what do they use it for? Because sometimes you see an assembly member calling on people or the government to give them some money. I know in a way the government is supposed to help, but you also have a means, and that means is the money you are taking. That money, as I said, should be used in paying laborers. And then even if you can't do it the whole week, at least twice in a week, there should be a cleanup exercise. Pay people, let them do the job, let them keep the environment clean. And as usual, prevention is better than cure. It's better you do it now or not. But when it escalates, don't forget that a lot of people are going to get infected, and you are not exempted either, because the possibility of you to having or being diagnosed of having cholera, it's not slim. It's vast.
It's vast. Right. Miss Eugenia, do you think the assembly should be held responsible for poor sanitation in our communities?
Aside the assemblies, DCs, no one else would be held responsible for poor sanitation in our communities. They are the best person to be held responsible, because that is your job. That is what you are being taxed on. Your duty is not to go to parliament to talk on behalf of the people. Your duty is to make sure that whatever concerns the community locally has to do with you. You need to make sure that you put it across to your boss for them to make sure that it is done well. So if, let's take Anteku for example, there's a place where sanitation is very rampant, is going on very, very, very well. The person we just have a municipal even just here. They are the ones to be held accountable and not anyone else. And looking at the property rate, just imagine this community. We have a lot of houses here, we have a lot of workplaces here, we even have a lot of workshops here. The assembly would have to go around, make sure that they take money from each and everyone. Whether you have a shop, you don't have a shop, you would need to pay it, and that money is used to take care of the community. So if you are we are talking about taking care of the community, sanitation also counts. Sanitation is also one of them. And all the time, Wubeko community be a high fee, and the only people they'll be calling upon is the government. Yes, it's the duty of the government, but that is why the government has employed someone to take over that course. When you go to some part of Accra and some part of simple towns or communities, say I'm say Choco, Kolegono, those environments, very dirty environments.
Graphic, before you get to Accra.
Graphic, very, very dirty environment. And human beings are sitting there, selling, living there day in and day out. And I always wonder and ask myself, so are they trying to tell me that they don't have an assemblyman, or they don't have anyone who is taking control of that site? The last time we went to School Junction, I brought here for reporting in regards to pollution, in regards to the way the place is dirty. The only thing they said is the duty of the assemblyman. But some assemblymen are not even doing their job because, yes, they don't even have the money to do it. So I would say they are the best persons to be blamed, but they also need to make sure that they seek the right people to make sure that enough funds are given to them to execute their job very well.
So to the assemblies, we want to see some sort of improvement when it comes to our sanitation in our local communities, just as the minister has mentioned, that these monies should rather be invested, these property rates that we pay should rather be invested in making sure that our surroundings are clean. We don't have to wait for the festive season or they pronounce National Sanitation Day before we will be running helter-skelter and be grabbing brooms and whatsoever to make sure that our communities are clean. You can be there once in a while as an assemblyman. You can just organize that and make sure that your vicinity is looking clean. Thank you so much for joining us on the news headline review. Up next, we have Today in History with Ms. Regina Bless.
1849, today in history. Fyodor spared from execution. Writer Fyodor is led before a firing squad and prepared for execution. He had been convicted and sentenced to death on November 16 for allegedly taking part in anti-government activities. However, at the last moment, he was reprieved and sent into exile. 1917, Russian-German peace talks begin at Brest-Litovsk, following an armistice signed on December 15th after the Bolsheviks sought to end Russia's involvement in World War I, leading to the harsh Treaty of Brest-Litovsk, signed in March 1918, which ceded vast Russian territories to the Central Powers. These negotiations were driven by Russia's desire for peace and Germany's aim for territorial expansion, but talks stalled, leading to a renewed German offensive before Russia ultimately accepted the severe terms, including surrounding Poland, the Baltics, Ukraine, and Finland. 1988. Chico Mendes, leading Brazilian conversionist, is assassinated. A prominent Brazilian rubber tapper trade union leader and environmental activist was assassinated on this day in Zapuri, Acre, Brazil. He was shot outside his home by the son of a rancher with whom Mens had a long-standing conflict over land and deforestation. To some few global observances, National Short Person Day, a day dedicated to appreciating the positives of being vertically challenged, enjoying perks like more leg room, promoting self-love and challenging height-based stereotypes. It's a fun occasion to celebrate short individuals and highlight that good things come in small packages, encouraging acceptance and confidence in all heights. Lastly, Mathematics Day, to raise global awareness of the crucial role math plays in science, technology, education, and society, supporting school competitions, exhibitions, workshops, seminars, and public events. It often focuses on connecting math with creativity, art, and practical life applications. And that's all for today on Today in History and some observances live on GhanaTalks Breakfast Show.
Thank you so much for Today in History. Up next, we have Debbie's Girl.
Welcome to Debbie's Girl, where we talk about issues that matter to the state, void of politics, fear, or favor. Mahama Yarigam, the majority leader and leader of government, business, and parliament, has stated that he will not allow himself to be provoked into making comment on the Boku chieftaincy dispute. Mr. Yariga, also the member of parliament for Boku Central, said he had deliberately refrained from commenting on the matter to avoid escalating tensions, while the mediation team led by Otumfuo Saitutu II was working with key stakeholders to resolve the matter. At the closing ceremony of the third meeting of this first session of the 9th Parliament, Mr. Ayariga stressed that his silence was a conscious effort to protect peace in the area. He explained that he had stayed away from his constituency for good reasons, noting that remarks made in haste could inflame passions and worsen the situation. Mr. Ayariga threatened and retreated his commitment to ensuring that parliamentary business remained focused on national development, while sensitive local issues were handled through appropriate mediation channels. Otumfuo now said to the second mediation teams on the Boku chieftaincy conflict reaffirmed Asigri Abukrago Azoka II as a legitimate Boku Naba. The mediation team recommended that rival chief Seidu Abagri has recalled to Nalerigu for another traditional role and urged the government's support to enforce peace. However, the Mampugu overlord rejected the report, while the Ghanaian government officially accepted it as a roadmap for reconciliation. So the conflict in Boku has been existent for some time now, for a number of years. And this has really caused havoc to the community. It has really caused distraction in that community. No one wants to go to Boku assistance now. No government official wants to go there. Because trust me, if you post me in Boku, I'm not sure. I'm being sincere here. I'm not sure I'll go. Because a community where you don't have peace, a community where you cannot sleep and relax, a community where today there is chaos, the next day there is chaos, you don't even have time to do whatever you want to do. Basically, you're under curfew every time, and then you are given a time to sleep and a time to wake up. Trust me, which investor would like to go to Boku to invest or come up with a business and help these people? And you see, all these basic things retard growth in that community. It delays development. Now, I've heard calls coming in that majority leader, you are the member of parliament in Boku. What's happening? We are not hearing of you. You are basically saying nothing. But you're a member of parliament in Boku. What is going on? He is saying that he's refraining from saying things that will escalate the issue. Now, I understand the fact that everyone is calling on Mahama Yariga to speak, to say something. As a member of parliament, you are supposed to talk. You are supposed to say something. What is going on in Boku? What measures are you putting in place for this conflict? I mean, to tame down the conflict. Because day in and day out, we've seen people losing their lives. We see people, victims that could not survive the the heat of the conflict. And then it looks as if the member of parliament representing the people of Boku is silent. You are not talking. And it looks as if every day he comes out to talk is something that does not involve Boku and national progress. Yes, it's good. You are supposed to talk about the national development of the country, but what about Boku? Are you thinking about them? Are you thinking about the people? Are you working behind the scene and we are not seeing it? And he's saying that, well, you are throwing a lot of questions at me, but this is it. I cannot speak because when I don't want to say anything that will escalate this issue. Now, as a member of parliament, the concern of the people needs to be your concern. The interest of the people needs to be your interest. Well, you might be working behind the scene and then we are not seeing it. We may not see it, but maybe you are doing something. But even if it is behind the scene, the people in your constituents should be saying it. I've come across a video where people from Boku were complaining that their member of parliament is silent. And I remember last year when the conflict became so tense, I think they set his house ablaze, sort of, and then he has to run out of Boku. And then I've seen instances where some residents of Boku are complaining that they are not hearing from their member of parliament. Yes, you might be working behind the scene, but at least if you don't want us to know, the people in Boku should know that this is what you are doing. This is basically what you are doing. What we are pleading for is peace. Because the Asante has taken this upon himself. And then a mediation between the Kusausi and then the Mamprusi. And then the Asante ensure that he ensure to promote peace and then reconcile these two groups. And after that, in fact, let me say, everyone was expecting a positive result, and I will literally say that after the mediation between Asante and then the Kusausi and the Mamprusi, in a way we saw calm after the Asante stepped into the issue. We're not hearing too much about Boku. But then after the result was presented to the president on Friday, I saw a video where a house of one of the ethnic groups was set ablaze, and these youth were saying that that man actually bribed the Asante to declare one person as the sole leader of Boku. You see, I think it's about time we, the citizens, needs to reason. If someone is paying you to do that, sit down and think through it. Is it going to help you? Do you feel happy when there is chaos? Do you feel happy? Is your soul at peace when there is chaos? When you cannot even think straight? You are being pressured to sleep at 6 and then you need to do so. You are being pressured to wake up at 6 and go back to bed at 6 or go back to bed at 4. No progress. Schools are halted. Business are not going on well. In fact, businesses are collapsing. And all these things are not signaling, are not giving you a signal that is a negative, it's having a negative impact on the community. Conflict does not bring out a positive result. Conflict will bring out a negative result. That is what it does. Conflict does not promote development. It promotes division. It promotes deaths. That is what it does. So even if the leaders are refusing to think, what of the youth? You should reason enough to tell these people that where it has gotten to a year. Because you are basically seeing nothing. But no, you see this youth, and then the number of youth I saw in the house in that video, it was something else. I was asking myself, these people, do they even sit down to think about all these things? Other communities are thinking of how to develop the community, of how to make the community more attractive. People have been posted, teachers and nurses have been posted to other communities, and they don't want to go. All these things are factors that contribute to that. How do you expect that community to grow? How do you expect it to grow? I know this has been an issue that has been in existence for so long, but it can be stopped. And that is if we put away our differences and then focus on the development of the community and the well-being of the people. And as I said, conflict doesn't bring a positive result. Conflicts always bring negative outcomes. I don't know whether you are happy if they slash your head with a knife, or you're happy if they shoot you, they set your house ablaze, you keep running and seeking for refuge. Even if politicians are behind that, which allegedly, some time ago I heard something like that, the politicians are behind that, providing these people with weapons and that. But sometimes I sit down to think about certain things and I don't get a clear answer to that. Where do you even get money to buy AK-47? All those bombs that they use in destroying things, where do they get that money from? This ethnic conflict is costing us a lot. And if Boku is affected today, if Boku becomes worse, it's going to affect the whole country. Boku is part of Ghana. Boku is not a country on its own. And the government is trying their possible best. This whole issue has to be a collective responsibility. The government is trying their best to solve it. You to help the government. At least help yourself, help your community. So you don't have to be traveling out of the community back to Accra or other places. You're not going to start life. Well, you have your house and everything in Boku, but you can't sleep because there is no peace. So I think it's about time the youth sit down and then you reason, think through it. For the number of years this conflict has existed, what benefit has it brought to Boku? Think about it. If it has brought a positive result, then continue. But if you feel like it hasn't brought a positive outcome, it has rather brought chaos, and a lot of innocent souls have died out of this conflict, then I think you should sit down and then put things in order. If Boku becomes attractive right now, the residents will enjoy more. If there is work, investors having the interest to establish new businesses in Boku, the residents will enjoy 50% of it. Why? Because you will be employed. You wouldn't have to travel from Boku all the way from Boku to Volta region to other places just to get employed or to get something doing. So to the youth of Boku, please sit down, reason, think about it, think through it. Conflict doesn't bring anything good. It destroys. That is what it does. It destroys. And I believe the youth can bring a stop to this. If you reason through it and then you come to a realization that you are one people. You might speak different dialects, but you are one people, living in one community under one roof. If you think through it, because even it says that together we stand, divided we fall. If you are together, bind together, I'm not sure, not even a politician can intrude and poison your thoughts or influence you to escalate the issue. Because these are the basic stuffs that terrorists and these jihadis and people take advantage over it. And then you see them all over, killing people. That is what we are trying to prevent. It will be sad if next year we will still sit here and talk about this Boku issue. Please, we want peace to reign. Because Boku is part of Ghana. If today Boku is stable, Ghana is stable. If Boku is in chaos, Ghana is in chaos. And to the member of parliament, please, your constituent says they want to see you doing something. We know that whether you belong to Kusasi or Mamprusi, if you don't know how to arrange your thoughts, you might end up offending one ethnic group, and that might escalate the issue. But at least let your constituents feel that you are doing something, you are putting measures in place, you are working behind the scene. You don't want us to see, but your constituents needs to see it, so that when there is an issue one day, they will back you that yes, you tried and you did your best. And to cut long story short, it is peace we want. Thank you for making time with me on Debbie's Grill.
Thank you so much, Miss Debbie, for that girl. And thank you too for joining us in the first segment of the Ghana Talks Breakfast Show. We'll be going for the news shortly, and right after the news, we'll be coming up with the main discussion. Please stick and stay with us.
Are you ready to amplify your business or brand's reach and make a meaningful impact in Ghana and beyond? Partner with GhanaTalks Radio today to connect with a diverse audience across Ghana and beyond. Elevate your brand through on-air promotions and social media. Boost your brand during prime time. With GhanaTalks Radio, you can extend your reach across digital platforms. GhanaTalks Radio is not just a station, it is a community hub where your brand becomes part of the conversation. Join us in fostering connections, celebrating culture, and making a lasting impression. For customized sponsorship packages and enquiries, email contact@GhanaTalksRadio.com or call +233 202 544614. GhanaTalks Radio, giving the youth a voice.
What do you want for breakfast? How do you want your breakfast?
English breakfast, French fries,
Koko Nikosi, alo komi kesheto.
wache.
Well, Gobe is the real deal.
Join us on Ghana Talks Radio. Let's serve you a buffet of breakfast.
From news headlines review, current affairs to social issues.
Entertainment, sports, and all the trending stories live on our mobile app and across all socials from Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m.
With me, Pakwesi Omare.
Regina Bless.
Deborah Adoso.
And I am Esinal Fiagbedu. This is Ghana Talks Breakfast Show.
We bring you local news, business news, international, sports, and entertainment news. Right here on GTR.
Hello, good morning, and welcome to the morning news update on Ghana Talks Radio. Coming up, Domahin urges prosecution of a styled National Cathedral project. Former Deputy Finance Minister called for dedicated health infrastructure in Etiwa East. Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources boost blue water guards with 636 new blue water guards. Ghanaian graduate students in US cry out for financial support amidst rising costs. These and many more coming up your way shortly. The Domahin Osajifo Siadie, your Dr. Nana Fredua Ajimambedu II has retreated on prosecuting public officials found guilty of misappropriating funds meant for the National Cathedral. He made that statement during the sword curtain for major road construction project under the Big Push agenda in the Bono region. Although the Domahin had expressed concern over 58 million spent on the National Cathedral project, President Mahama has promised to take legal action against those involved in embezzlement of state funds.
Ade abede tuma ba ko pa corruption. Na ye hu se sa National Cathedral no sika ba ka se ba se na ye wura me de no krani ba ka se me de mentiase ye mu bi kura na eni se ba bi $56 million. E cheja kura ye tre ya ba ye ba 96 and 97. Na no krani sa de wo aye kan ho asem aye gi dini ye wura Attorney General de ba be boy say Ketesh asishe bi animu a no kura ni kama court na ma frɛ nipa ohwɛ so no na ya toto na no so ma kyerɛ de kodie ntia na Ghana fo nyina hu yewura eno de ma bia convince se bibi nim ma ate se bi nim baba hyehyɛ ase me de nim se ne osite na mbom Ghana fo be ka be bibi na se utimi ka yewura sa amana na betu ye no de no kura ni ntia ase yɛpɛ sɛ bi bɛmfa no nkɔ gyina mmara ano na ɔmɛkyerɛ de korodie nti ɛsɛ sika dodoɔ no.
Former Deputy Finance Minister who doubles as a Member of Parliament for Etiwa East, Abena Osei Asari, is advocating for a standalone initiative to address collapsing health infrastructure. She argues that the current budget allocation is insufficient, with 85% heading towards compensation. She suggests a model similar to the Big Push initiative, which could provide by 4.3% increase in the national health budget for 2025.
To come up with an initiative that will be for health infrastructure, and that will be separate from the health budget that is allocated to the minister every year. Because if you look at the chunk of the health budget, 85% of that is compensation. What you have left is so minimal that it cannot address the health infrastructure gap that we have here. And so that if government will think of an initiative like the Big Push, where focus is on roads. So aside what has been given to the roads minister, there's a huge chunk of about 30 billion that has been put in for roads, and that will address the road infrastructure gap in this country. It is in that same way that I'm calling on government to also look at the health infrastructure needs of this country and create a different fund, so that at the end of the day, when you allocate so much to the Ministry of Health, people will not see that so much money, because it is half or well, no, our 85% of that goes into compensation. What you have left is very minimal and cannot address the critical health needs of this country. And so, government, this is free advice I'm giving to government, that they should look into ways that they have done for the roads, where they have the Big Push. Do something similar in the health sector to close the health infrastructure gap that we have in this country currently.
The Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources has commissioned 636 new water guards, bringing together the total strength of 1,700 nationwide. The new recruit is to support efforts to combat illegal mining in Ashanti and Eastern region. According to the Minister of Lands and Natural Resources, government is committed to protecting our natural reserves.
That I state that so far we have trained roughly 1,700 blue water guards across almost 7 regions, and we believe we are on the right course, and we are very proud of those pioneers who started the work. They are in their way of the galamseyers, and they are making their lives so uncomfortable. We know that you are going to the Ashanti region, you are going to the Central region, you are going to the Eastern region, working closely with the Ghana Navy, the NEMOS and the police service to give them help. We will stand and fight until we turn our waters blue.
Ghanaian graduate students in the United States appeals for increased financial and institutional support. According to them, rising tuition, living and health insurances cost threaten to derail academic pursuits. The Graduate Students Association of Ghana says untimely intervention will lead to a waste of academic investment. The association is calling on government and its embassy in the United States to explore government-targeted scholarships, support schemes and other funding opportunities to support affected students. In response, Ambassador Victor Emmanuel Smith pledged to work with student associations in identifying practical support mechanics.
To you, because like I mentioned before, we do have a long-standing relationship with the embassy. You will see in one of the appendixes of the briefing book that we have typically had the ambassador as the honorary patron of GhanaTalks USA, and the last one we had was Ambassador Smith, the first Ambassador Smith in 2016. So I just thought I would bring that as sort of a memory, down the memory lane to reiterate our relationship with the embassy. And we did have the same with your predecessor, the most recent ambassador too. And so, following that, I think it's important to state that RASAC as an association, we've tried to rally all of our graduate students in the US together. It doesn't matter whether it's master's or PhD or postgraduate degree, they all fall in that category. And we've been working hard to keep the momentum going. I would say that from when it was founded almost 10 years ago, 2016, we tried to bring everyone together, irrespective of how vast America is. We do that through online programming, so we hold a lot of conferences on Zoom and meetings, and where we can, we also bring pockets of students together in different locations. Now, thankfully, in Kwesi Sam's reign as the sixth president, we were fortunate to be able to host our first Congress, which is the conference that brings all the students together in one location. And that was in 2024. And so we followed same this year with the second Congress, and that was held in Ohio. And it's also where I got elected as president to serve a 1-year term. And so it falls on me to keep the tradition going. And so one of the cardinal things I wanted to mention to you and discuss with you is the fact that we are planning to host the third Congress, which coincidentally would also be our 10th anniversary in July of next year. Typically, we hold it in the summer so that students are on vacation and they are able to travel down and participate. So it's one of the major issues I wanted to discuss with you, because we would be honored to have your presence at that event. It is indeed a huge event. It usually involves the university authorities. We work with the presidents of various universities.
Senior Vice President of Imani Africa, Kofi Bentil, says Electoral Commission should heed to the calls of the Supreme Court. He criticized Parliament's decision to declare the seat vacant. According to him, it was premature, contributing to the uncertainty surrounding the case. Meanwhile, Supreme Court has suspended all processes related to the proposed Mandai parliamentary return.
Incidentally, I was in court. And when Mandai came up, we said some very simple things. What we said is, one, until the justices of the courts make a final pronouncement, nothing is final. And I went as far as saying, and I put it on Facebook, that an election is not won at the polling station. Speaking law. Because the EC officers are officers of law. If they don't do their work according to law, it is all null and void. Led by Akoto Ampao, I went to court to have the processes set out, how you do this and that pinch it. If you don't use that process, which is a legal process, the whole thing is off. I gave the analogy that, look, if you win an election by 10,000 votes, that is what happens at the polling station. If in a court it is shown that 5,000 of those votes were invalid, you did not win, the court will determine that your number is 5,000. So it is a court that finally will adjudicate whether you have won or not, unless the other party doesn't take it up. To that extent, the principle has been clear. That
the principle of election petitions is that, as you said, if the court impugns 5,000 of the votes, and those 5,000, if they were dashed to your opponent, will not change the results. They leave the sanctity of the vote.
Correct.
Don't touch it.
So that's the math. But the court decides what happens at the polling station is valid or not. So my point is, getting 10,000 votes at a polling station does not mean you have 10,000 votes. The court will decide what votes you have. We need, look, I started saying this from the first presidential petition, that as a country, we need to put in our minds that the justices are the supervisors of the realm. And it is what they say that is final. And I have said and I repeat, this idea that you win elections at the polling station, much as there is some truth to it, it generates violence. What we must tell people is this: in a proper, lawful society, it should be possible for a person to go and vote and go home. In a proper, lawful society, it should be possible for persons involved in an election not to have observers. In a proper, lawful society, it should be possible for the citizens to trust the Electoral Commission so much that they don't mount whole armies, people don't snatch ballot boxes, and don't engage in all kinds of lawlessness to so-called protect their vote. If we did just that, then you will see a situation where the justices don't come in. But as long as we keep saying you win at the police station or you lose at the police station, etc., people do all kinds of things over there, and then the thing ends up in court. And please, when it ends in court, this is where Inusa and his people come in. When a matter is sub judice, it is not determined, do not take a step to overreach the court. Indeed, that is what the justice said. So,
in business, despite global cocoa prices reaching records high over the past 18 months, Ghanaian farmers and Cocoa Board are yet to realize an expected windfall. The Ghana Cocoa Board is now reporting losses following a sharp price correction, raising expectations of a possible cut in next year's fee on board price. Cocoa Board says the price rally, which pushed cocoa to historic highs on the international market, did not translate into financial gains for either the situation and cocoa farmers. Ghana exports approximately 850,000 to 1 million metric tons of cocoa annually, with more than 70% destined for European market. However, during the 2023-2024 season, about 330,000 tons of cocoa contract were not supplied, resulting in rollover for delivery and payment in subsequent years. Cocoa Board Chief Executive Officer Randy Abe says Ghanaian farmers and Cocoa Board did not benefit from the high cocoa prices on the global commodity market for the past 18 months. He added that the global cocoa market has since reversed sharply, raising fresh concerns about revenue sustainability for the sector. Currently, prices are declining sharply, falling from about 12,000 to around 5,000 per ton. Cocoa, which continues to attract significant foreign exchange, closed on the international market at 5,845 per ton on Friday, December 19th. The board cautioned that the sustained downturn could have direct implications for cocoa pricing in the next crop year. Abe explained that the declared FOB price for the current season stands at 72%. This year, the declared free on board prices 72%. If prices do not recover, there is likely to be a reduction in free on board prices next year. The development underscores the growing challenges confronting Ghana's cocoa sector as it navigates volatile global commodity market while seeking to protect farmers' incomes and stabilize the industry. To sports, Accra Heart of Oak were held to a goalless draw by Aduana FC in the Ghana Premier League on Sunday. Before the match, the two teams were separated by 3 points, and is reflected in the close nature of the contest. 11 minutes into the game, Patrick Mensah broke free in the box. A snapshot was met by a smart save from Heart keeper Solomon Agbesi. 2 minutes later, Hart went close when Yalbafi Amankwa's cross found Mauli Wayoa marked in the box. Midway through the first half, Martin Karikari found Wayo on the edge of the area. In the 27th minute, the game's best chance fell to Heart of Oak, and it all came from Wayo's brilliant work on the left, leaving his maker for dead before finding Karikari, whose diving header missed the post by a mile. 3 minutes later, they turned the culprit again when he skied his effort from inside the penalty box. From then on, Aduana tightened up in the middle. The second half was closer, with neither side prepared to give away much. In a desperate bid to find the breakthrough, Aduana resorted to shots from distance. In 64th minute, Charles Jemfi produced one of those. His effort flew harmlessly. Hart replied 2 minutes later when George Parkus thunderbolt for range missed the post by millimeters. 11th minute from full time, Agbesi was called into action, diving to his elastic limit to save Jemfi's powerful header. Both sides had opportunity on the counter break. In the final 10th minute, Aduana remained top of the league with 28 points, but have played 2 matches more than second place Mediama SC. Heart have now moved to third with 25 points. Football club Samatex 1996 returned to winning ways with a narrow but vital 1-0 victory over Heart of Lions at Nsetue Sports Arena on Sunday. In the Ghana Premier League, the Timber Giants made home advantage count with Emmanuel Mama's 39th minute strike proving decisive in the contest. Samatex controlled large spells of the first half and were rewarded just before the break when Mamad found the net to swing the momentum. Heart of Lions pushed for an equalizer after the restart but struggled to recover the spark. The defeat compounds a difficult period for Pando Bay side, who have now suffered back-to-back losses. The result leaves Samatex to 6th in the standings with 24 points, whilst Lions slip out of the top 6, dropping to 7th place with 23 points. In showbiz, Afrobeat singer Davido has revealed why he collaborated with his colleague Omale, disclosing that he worked with the Soso crooner because Omale came out publicly about his doubt about Davido's love for him. Recall that last year, Omale revealed that he had assumed Davido hated him until the DMW boss panned his songs during his famous live stream with American streamer Kai Cenat in Lagos. In a trending video broadcast, Davido explained he reached out to Omale after he saw his tweet. He added that the interaction led to their collaboration on With You. The song has been nominated for the Best African Music Performance category at the 2026 Grammy Awards. And that's how we wrap up on the morning news update. Do want to log on to all streaming platforms at GhanaTalks Radio. I am Deborah Dosso. Do have a good morning.
Are you ready to amplify your business or brand's reach and make a meaningful impact in Ghana and beyond? Partner with GhanaTalks Radio today to connect with a diverse audience across Ghana and beyond. Elevate your brand through on-air promotions and social media. Boost your brand during prime time. With GhanaTalks Radio, you can extend your reach across digital platforms. GhanaTalks Radio is not just a station, it is a community hub where your brand becomes part of the conversation. Join us in fostering connections, celebrating culture, and making a lasting impression. For customized sponsorship packages and enquiries, email contact@GhanaTalksRadio.com or call +233 202 544614. GhanaTalks Radio, giving the youth a voice.
What do you want for breakfast? How do you want your breakfast?
English breakfast, French fries.
Koko Nikosi, alo komi kesheto.
Wache.
Well, Gobe is the real deal.
Join us on Ghana Talks Radio. Let's serve you a buffet of breakfast.
From news headlines review, current affairs to social issues.
Entertainment, sports, and all the trending stories live on our mobile app and across all socials from Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m.
With me, Pakwesi Omare.
Regina Bless.
Deborah Adoso.
And I am Esinal Fiagbedu. This is Ghana Talks Breakfast Show.
Ghana Talks Radio, #1.
This is Ghana Talks Breakfast Show, your morning companion. This is Ghana Talks Breakfast Show, your morning companion.
Good morning to us once again. You are welcome to the Ghana Talks Breakfast Show right here on Ghana Talks Radio. We are back on your screen again. Sitting right here in the studios with me is my knowledgeable ladies, Miss Debbie Adoso and Miss Regina Bless, and myself. And this morning we are just going to be looking at some few headlines in the news. We discuss about that, share our thoughts on that. You can join the conversation. We're streaming live on YouTube at Ghana Talks Radio, on Facebook as Ghana Talks Radio. Let's get it interactive. Good morning once again.
Good morning.
Yeah, I hope I didn't distract anyone from their breakfast. Have you had breakfast already, Miss Debbie?
Not yet.
Not yet. Miss Regina?
Not yet.
Not yet, but soon. Hopefully. Because you can't say you not eat today. Right. For our first news headline, let's look at Kenneth Oriata, the new development on Kenneth Oriata's issue. And this is coming from Apeje Etua. So, Oriata's extradition may face political motivation claims in U.S. Professor Kojo Apeje, an international law and human rights expert at the University of Ghana School of Legon, says that extradition request for former Finance Minister Kenneth Oriata could face challenges in U.S. courts if claims of political motivations are raised. According to him, although U.S. courts will primarily determine whether the legal requirements for extradition has been satisfied, allegations of political persecution could complicate the process. It is possible that Mr. Kenneth Oriata may argue that the extradition request is politically motivated. Such claims are not uncommon in international extradition cases, particularly where high-ranking political figures are involved. The U.S. courts will examine both the procedural correctness of the submission and whether there are grounds to believe the request may be political motivated. He said this in an interview. The extradition request was formally submitted by Attorney General Dr. Dominic Ayeni and seeks to have Kenneth Oriata and his former Chief of Cabinet, Ernest Dako Akori, brought to the United States to face 78 corruption-related charges filed by the Office of the Special Prosecutor. The legal documents were submitted on December 10, 2025 to Ghana's Ministry of Foreign Affairs to the United States Department of Justice. The move marks a significant step in ongoing effort to hold public officials accountable for alleged corruption at the highest levels of government. So that is it. And that is coming from Mr. Apeje, who is an international law and human rights expert at the University of Ghana School of Law, and says that if the US get to find out that the issue of Kenneth Oriata facing extradition is politically motivated, it's going to be very difficult for the case to go on. Miss Debbie, I'm even wondering if you know that it's going to be politically motivated, like it's going to be like a bit disturbing. Why would you even come and say it in the news? Then you get another apple from here. and then you'd be like, oh, it could be politically motivated because my party was in power, and right now they're accusing me and they think I've stolen some money.
Sure.
So I feel like this is even an approach to Ken Ofori-Atta, even if his mind has not gone there. As an expert there are certain things that I feel like you should just shush, like you get it. Yeah, but in all of this, what do you make of this? Do you think that if there should be a case that he mentions that this case is actually based on politics, there's a probability we might face challenges, or they wouldn't even release him at all?
You shouldn't be facing challenge in bringing Ofori-Atta back to the country. This issue is Ghana versus Ofori-Atta, not Ghana versus USA security personnel. Well, in a way, we are supposed to work with them. We're supposed to collaborate with them so that we can have Ofori-Atta back in the country. But if in case they should make a statement that, oh, in a way they feel like this whole issue is being politicized, and so Ken Ofori-Atta will not be allowed to come, or they cannot help or collaborate with us to bring Ken Ofori, that wouldn't be fair on the part of Ghanaians, because the issue is between Ghana and Ken Ofori-Atta, not Ghana and them. And then this is a case where you need to account as where those money flew to. So in a way, I don't see it as something that should prevent us from getting Ofori-Atta or getting hold of him. You can't tell us that it's politically influenced. How is it politically influenced? Well, your government was in power, and then they appointed you. So definitely he's going to make claims that the other party thinks that he has embezzled fund. But no, OSP has brought out, what's the name, a list of cases that you're involved in, and allegedly stated that in a way they've been loss of money in this. So you partnered with Strategic Mobilization Limited, and they said that the money that was pumped in there was not, let's say, over the board. And then the National Cathedral issue was also mentioned. And with the National Cathedral, we learned that 58 million was pumped into that cathedral. The cathedral is nowhere to be found. The money is nowhere to be found. So if you should tell us that this whole issue is being influenced, and so Ken Ofori-Atta to be hard or difficult to get him back into the country, then what is the use of our laws? If truly there should be a case where we cannot get hold of Ken Ofori-Atta, then we are not serious as a country. This shouldn't be an issue. This shouldn't be something that would deter us or prevent us from getting him or accessing him back into the country. And we know that definitely we collaborating with the Western people to get hold of Ken Ofori-Atta, I think it will go through process. So they'll have to sign certain things, and I understand where the money is coming from, because they will put all these things into consideration before they can allow him back into the country. But I feel like we should rather stand our grounds and make it known to them that this is not politically influenced. This is what our law states. Our law states that when you're being given a position to handle an office, and then at the end of your term in office, account to the people. They've been notified, or we've been notified that money has been lost or money has been embezzled, and you are the head there. Who do you think we should ask? We can't ask the workers, because that money was headed right to you, or let's say you were the intermediary of taking that money between the government and the people. So you should be accounted for, you should be interrogated. So I don't think that political influence or political interference should prevent us from getting hold of Ofori-Atta. No.
Right. Message now. What do you also think?
So I think that it can in a way influence the extradition process, but I don't think it should 100% have it should have an influence 100%. In a way it can have an influence. Maybe it can delay, or it can delay the process. And one thing I did a research on is when there is a valid extradition treaty and the alleged offenses are crimes in both countries, and there's sufficient evidence to justify the extradition, so the case won't be defended on public opinion or politics alone. And also, looking at the counts, they said the number and seriousness of charges matter. He's being labeled with 78 8 corruption-related charges. And according to the research, if these charges are backed with credible evidence, strengthen Ghana's case. U.S. courts generally do not weigh guilt, but they do assess whether the charges appear genuine and non-frivolous. So with all this being said, as I said earlier, in a way, political influence would have a bit of delay on the extradition process. It's just like, let me use Tokonu for example. Maybe Tokonu's removal, she would take it to cause that, oh, it is politically motivated. They will listen to a case, and at the end of the day, the process they were supposed to go through, they wouldn't go through that process smoothly because another case has been brought before them. So they would have to pay attention to that case also. So in a way, if they are supposed to expedite the process of the extradition or Tokonu's issue, mainly because of misconduct, now she has brought another allegation before them or before the court that, oh, these people are taking me off because of politics, because I do not belong to their political party. With that, they have another issue to battle again. So the issue will prolong, it will be delayed. So it goes to Ken Ofori-Atta too. If Suswampa said he used to take the issue, tell them, so, oh, it is politically motivated, and no one say automatically extradition process now consubium ebe koso, but just that attention on modern extradition process so better, then they'll pay attention to the political aspect to make sure so at the end of the day the verdict given is free and fair. And also you made mention of some experts talking too much. Yes, in a way they call something self-defense. So I feel like sometimes when you talk too much, you give points to your opponent. You give points to people who are in trouble to take from that and defend themselves. If maybe you can say, excuse me and sorry to say, allegedly I've killed someone, and I know I've heard someone saying, say, oh, na kuno kuni panekano, you can go to court and battle your case or defend your case as self-defense. Maybe the person was coming to you to attack you or something, you also attacked back. It's self-defense. Was sentence na so better unko demu afebo sentence na so better and na say yamfa untu mukra. So with the extradition process, I believe and I know that it will go on smoothly, because according to the research and according to what we know, the crime here in Ghana is the same as the crime in the US. It becomes a problem if what we claim it's a crime here, it's not a crime there. It will be very difficult to battle the case. And also with the 78 charges, they've presented all legal documents and evidences supporting the facts. Said the person did this, the person did that. Mind you, we are not saying he's a criminal. It's alleged that this is what he has done. He has misused state money, misconduct, misappropriated it. So just come and answer the questions. Using the case of Abu Shika, for example, this is what they said he has done. So why? They are now going to do thorough and full investigation into the matter. So at the end of the day, it might appear that he's free, it might appear that he's guilty. So Ken Ofori-Atta, we will always say this, that he should get ready. He battling the extradition process doesn't mean that he would be a free man. No. You can't be a free man, you are already in bondage. So the physical now far, the individuals will use the spiritual means to get you.
Physical fire, use the spiritual means. Right. This is from Napo. Here UST remains unchanged, so why rename others? A former education minister, Dr. Matthew Opoku-Prempeh, has weighed in on the ongoing public debate over the renaming of some public universities, insisting that the process should not descend into pettiness. He argued that those spearheading the changes are attempting to rewrite Ghana's history to suit personal interest. Parliament recently approved legislation amending the names of several public universities to strengthen institutional identity and enhance global competitiveness. Under the new law, CK Tedem University of Technology and Applied Science will now be named University of Technology and Applied Science, Navrongo. Simeon Dambo University of Business and Integrated Development Studies will become University of Business and Integrated Development Studies. Akenten Apia Minka University of Skills, Training and Entrepreneur Development will be renamed University of Skills Training and Entrepreneur Development, Kumasi. Dr. Opoku Prempeh, also known as Napo, speaking at the 8th lecture organized by the Asante Professional Club in Kumasi, questioned why Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology has remained unchanged while universities named after notable individuals are being renamed. We woke up to news about the renaming of some public universities, yet KNUST remains unchanged. It's very difficult to understand the motive behind this, as though some people want to rewrite Ghana's history starting from 1979, and our intellectuals are silent on the matter. I served as Minister of Education, and the original name, Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, was established by Act 80, enacted by the CPP government, which named the university after Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. If KNUST can bear his name, then why can't others who have contributed to the establishment of universities be honored? I mean, why should... Okay, let me leave it for you to answer. This is what Napo is saying. That why should KNUST remain the same whilst they are changing the names of other universities? I mean, it was even difficult to even pronounce some of the names of these universities. When Akufo-Addo was in power, he came and then changed the name of some existing universities and renamed them after some people they say also fought for the establishment of that university. Now the NDC is also in power and they're like, no, we are taking it back to how it used to be. They are re-changing the names at all. Like they are re-changing them. And Napo is saying that if you are re-changing them, why is KNUST still KNUST and you are changing the names of the other universities? Listen, what do you think?
Changing the names of schools. I think before you even name a school or you give someone's name a legacy someone has left behind, and then you feel like the person needs to be honored, then you give it to a school. That is not bad. But in a case where you name schools after names that we don't know, it's not written down in history. So let's take Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. Kwame Nkrumah University, Osadifo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah was the first president of Ghana. We didn't get to meet him, but then we got opportunity to read about what he did for Ghana, how well he fought for the country, the projects he brought on board, I mean, the infrastructure he built, and a lot of things. We didn't see him personally, but in reading about him, we felt like the man did a great job. And so naming a school after him makes sense. But naming schools after names that we don't even know, we don't get to know this name. Sometimes you search the name and then you don't get to see the name. Even Google do not recognize that name. And some of the names are so hard to pronounce. I feel like it's not about naming schools. We should rather focus on, improving these schools and ensuring that they have all the things necessary to aid in easy learning. Yes, I know that it is true. We need to name the schools, but I feel like naming a school, it should be based on what someone has done, the good legacy the person has left behind, and then you name that school after that person. It's worth it. You don't just wake up and then you feel like you want to name schools and then you name schools to be a dino crowd. How do you tell somebody that you are going to Kwesi technical way obviously bisa enti we see a school e wo. So I feel like naming school shouldn't be kuntai, like naming it after people. You can name like simple, something very simple. University of Education, Winnie back on our corner. The no stressful way
and even stays in
it
mind.
It sticks in your mind. Immediately you mention University of Education, everybody knows that it's Winneba you're talking about. You don't stress yourself. If you mention University of Ghana, everybody knows Legon. Simple as that. If you mention KNUST, Kwame University, I didn't know how the name is even like how will I say it? It's not this kind of it sounds so well, but you just wake up and Kweku Menka University of Richard Ampofo School of that. No. Oh no. It's not right. So even if they want to change those schools and then they feel like people have played a role in the country and they want to name the people, they want to name the schools after those people, they should check the legacies of those people. What legacy have the person left behind? Is it a positive one? Is it a negative one? Are you doing that because you want to acknowledge the person, or you are doing that because you just feel like doing it? So I feel like you don't just wake up one day and then name a school after someone. And that is what the Western world are doing. Then I'm not sure you'll be here and then you feel like going to their schools. Because sometimes you search and then you school didn't require with there. You want to go there like Harvard University, Cambridge. Like if you go to a dinner, it's so enticing. You want to go there. You want to know how it looks like. You want to feel the environment. Every school here, you get there and then like the infrastructure and everything is bad, but they have an enticing name that is so appealing to the ears. You want to see. After we do Ghana, Kweku Menta, Robert Ampofo, no. And I feel like this is not really necessary. Oh, it's not necessary. We should rather focus on building infrastructures and then like these schools, sourcing them and helping them ace in their they should be efficient and effective in what,
not the naming,
but not the naming. The name, you know, and one year in a sense that you name it in a way that people can pronounce it and can be identified. So I feel like it's very necessary. And then you don't just name a school after anybody at all. Kwame Nkrumah is worth it. It's worth it because he did massively work for Ghana. You cannot wake up. Akufo-Addo University of.
My problem is, so why didn't they build their own universities and name them, but rather change already existing universities into new names? But now, where is even when people go into those schools, when you ask them, they'll still pronounce the old name, but not the new name.
The old name.
Right, Miss Gina, what do you also think?
So, renaming schools, from my opinion, shouldn't really be a problem, but it only becomes a problem when you are renaming the school from its existing name to a name that we know nothing about, a name that hasn't contributed anything to the legacy of the school, a name that doesn't ring a bell when it's being mentioned. And one thing I know for a fact is most of the times the mentioning of the school, the pronunciation of the school shouldn't really be a problem. Taking Kwame Nkrumah University for example, some people still find it difficult to mention the name, aside we Ghanaians and popular people who know about the name. But we know that Kwame Nkrumah contributed so massively to the economy, to the building of our country and all that, so he deserves it and he deserves that accolade. And also with the monuments that are being built in our country, they are not just built just because of building sake, or they are not just built because of art or because of should I say I didn't understand decoration purpose. No, they are built because those people have really contributed greatly to their country. That is why those things are being built to remember them, to let their legacy still go on. Yes, their legacy would continue regardless. Now, with the name change, why? Because it's like every party wants to come into power and be changing names, and I'm not really getting it. Is it a new trend what are they getting from it? Because it's something we really need to pay keen attention to. Because with the former administration, they also changed names. This administration, they also want to change names. And with the names you are hearing, Miko School, no, in the book of history, I never heard of those names. I never saw those names. I didn't learn anything in regards to those names. But we know that when we go into the book of history, we can hear of Kwame Nkrumah, we can hear of Buzia, we can hear of the other people who contributed to the country, to the growth of the country. So with the name change, the only thing I can say is they need to make sure that the people that would have that name on that institution, that building or whatever, needs to be a name that is recognized, need to be a name that is known, need to be a name that has contributed to the country. It shouldn't just be for political reasons. It shouldn't just be, oh, this person has done well in my sight as a personal interest. One kasa na wo boni panaba, so it should be something that everyone knows about. And mind you, with every name that is given to a school, it has a history behind it. It has a story to tell, because everyone has a story to tell. And see, the name should be a positive name also. It shouldn't be like, oh, this person was. And if you've really studied, most of times, no, the names given to some institutions, it has a positive story. There's no way you would hear of a chief or a government worker then times who wanted to bring up a coup d'etat. Yeah, funny to school and
right.
In a way, what are you teaching the students, or what are you teaching the people? So the name changing should be positive. It should have a positive and educational impact on the people.
Right. Thank you so much for joining me on the Just By the Way and going through some news headline. We'll be coming shortly with a main discussion. Please take and stay with us.
Are you ready to amplify your business or brand's reach and make a meaningful impact in Ghana and beyond? Partner with GhanaTalks Radio today to connect with a diverse audience across Ghana and beyond. Elevate your brand through on-air promotions and social media. Boost your brand during prime time. With GhanaTalks Radio, you can extend your reach across digital platforms. GhanaTalks Radio is not just a station, it is a community hub where your brand becomes part of the conversation. Join us in fostering connections, celebrating culture, and making a lasting impression. For customized sponsorship packages and enquiries, email contact@GhanaTalksRadio.com or call +233 202 544614. GhanaTalks Radio, giving the youth a voice.
What do you want for breakfast? How do you want your breakfast?
English breakfast, French fries,
Koko Nikosi, alo komi kesheto.
wache.
Well, Gobe is the real deal.
Join us on Ghana Talks Radio. Let's serve you a buffet of breakfast.
From news headlines, review, current affairs to social issues.
Entertainment, sports, and all the trending stories live on our mobile app and across all socials from Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m.
With me, Pakwesi Omare.
Regina Bless.
Deborah Adoso.
And I am Esinal Fiagbedu. This is Ghana Talks Breakfast Show. This is Ghana Talks Breakfast Show, your morning companion.
We are back once again on your screen, and this time around we are here with our lovely guests, and we will be diving into the main discussion for this morning. And I must say that we are happy to have sitting in the studios our knowledgeable guests, one from the NPP and one from the NDC, and we are going to have a very interesting and a very balanced discussion this morning. So we have Mr. Abdullahi Rahman, NDC Communications Team Member for Saboba Constituency, and we also have Mr. Razak Abdul Razak, the member of the NPP Communications Team as well. Good morning to us all.
Good morning. Hope you are good.
Yeah, I'm good. Yourself?
I'm good. Right. Last week I had a severe catarrh.
Oh.
So I wasn't so sure if I could make it today. But when he called, I gave a definite answer that I was going to be here. So I had to go and get some citrus seed and
nice. Oh, thank you so much.
And thankfully I'm here.
Yes.
I have my voice.
You are here. We thank God. Thank you. Mr. Abdullah,
yeah.
How are you doing?
Oh, by the grace of Almighty Allah, we are alive this morning, and by the intervention of the NDC government and how freshy the system is, everything is moving smoothly.
We thank God. How are you preparing for the Christmas though? I think Christmas is in 3 days, if I'm not mistaken.
22nd, 3 days time.
Yeah. Right. How are you preparing for Christmas? Any?
Yeah,
both Muslims too, but you join your Christian friends.
Yeah. But one surprising thing is that when it's Christmas, we don't really get to chop the meat as compared to when it is what's the name? Salah.
Yes.
Salah time, there's a lot of meat we share with our Muslim friends,
yes.
our Christian friends. So
yes.
Yeah, I'm sure when you're going, you would invite us.
Oh yes, I'll invite you. You're invited to my house.
Thank you
Come
very
and
much.
eat. You happen to kill cow.
Yeah, sure.
But most of the times we do goat and chicken. But it looks like the chicken, people are even getting tired of the chicken. Mr. Abdullah, what about you?
Yeah, as my good brother, rightly, kept it. We Muslims, we wait when we start our Ramadan. I learned this year that Ramadan will be very early. So
we have about 60 days more to go.
So
why early?
It depends.
That's the calendar.
Oh, okay.
Yes, please. And one most interesting thing is that because of the stabilization of the Ghana's economy, you go to the market and you will notice that Christmas is booming. The euphoria around the markets and how people are excited because prices of items have gone down is so admiring. And we have to give credit to the NDC government.
It is the second time he's trying to give credit to the government.
Oh,
but the truth of the matter is
that so who do you think the credit should go to?
Well, I'm not okay. Let me make my point. Maybe we'll determine whether there's credit to be given or not.
Yeah.
I'm not sure we should give credit to anybody because look, the economy as we speak. If you go and check the numbers, the number of people that used to come into the country for Christmas, this year it has been a drastic change.
Are you sure?
Drastic decrease, yes. And Christmas is not, it doesn't look normal like it used to be, if you want to be frank with me. It doesn't look normal. This year's Christmas, there's nothing in the system for us to celebrate, right? There's no money, there's no nothing. So we're just celebrating, should I say a dry Christmas, right? A dry one. We're just going to be, I don't know. We're managing, right? It's not like a normal Christmas where people really get to enjoy the Christmas celebration and stuff. This year, you see that
items has really gone down.
The vim is down. The vim is down because there's no money on the system for people to enjoy Christmas. You see, so I don't think there's a credit to be given because it's not as we used to know. Yeah.
What did you want to say?
Oh, I wanted to let him know that now the prices of items has gone down. During 2 years ago, where 5 kg of rice, we used to buy it at 150 Ghana cedis, but today you can get that rice 60 cedis, 70 cedis at the market. Oil that used to be sold at 90 cedis, 80 cedis, now you can get it at 40 cedis, 45 cedis. The remaining balance you can use to purchase other ingredients to be able to have your delicious stew. So that shows that Abba and Papa Abba, and as Abba and Papa has come, you realize that we can go back to our villages with smiling faces. We can go back to our villages and to also spend Christmas there, as compared to the previous years that we cannot even. When your family member is calling you and you know that it's time for Christmas, you start ignoring their calls because of the hard nature of the economy. But now things are very flexible and he's happy. He knows very well.
Are you sure he knows?
Oh, he knows.
I'm sure I don't know.
He's just trying to pretend.
Look, no. If you said price of a bag of rice has gone down and things, but you see the truth of the matter is that accepting the fact that, or let's say, granted that price of bag has gone down. There's no money to buy the rice. Ordinary Ghanaians are suffering, right? There's no money to buy the rice. And to tell you the truth, they claim things are down, but I'm telling you that things are really expensive. It's not as though we want to do politics. I mean, if, let's say, for example, a bag of maize today is sold at 400 cedis, how much do you think a ball of kinky should go? As compared to what we were told in our area, in our tenure, right? Today, the price of kinky is still 5 cedis, and in some instances, they are selling it for 7 cedis.
It depends on the
same. It's the same maize.
No, it's not the same. No, it depends on the. Is it the quantity? Yeah, it actually depends on the quantity and then the weight
quantity.
Of it. Because if you want 7 cedis, 7 cedis is bigger than the 5 cedis.
The quantity doesn't.
No.
Oh
no, but the 7 cedis.
Let me make my point. The quantity is not as though the 5 cedis one is bigger than, or the 7 cedis one is bigger than the 5 cedis.
Oh, it is.
No.
Oh no, it is.
From where I have purchased the 7 cedis one. And where I used to buy my 5 cedis kinky at Newtown.
It's the same thing.
It's the same thing.
Are you sure?
Then
it's the sellers that are cheating you.
I went to
the analysis is doing
just a woman back here to buy kinky. It was 5 cedis. And that kinky was the same as the one I used. I bought 7 cedis. Right?
Fact, so it's not, every seller and how they mold their kinky.
But you see, the underlying thing is that, considering the drastic decrease in the price of a bag of maize, we expect that kinky should be going for like 3 cedis.
So now, are you trying to blame the government? Are you not trying to blame?
Because
are you trying to blame the government?
It simply means that it is not reflecting.
Newtown molding small balls of kinky. Are you trying to blame the government? Is the government that is preparing the kinky?
But basic
so
economics.
You cannot use that as a yardstick to depict that the economy is not bouncing back or has not bounced back.
That's fine. That's fine. Basic economics understanding.
Right. Calm down. Calm down. We are
not going into the substantive, but these are just preliminary comments, right? So relax.
Ghanaians are appreciating the fact that we have stability of prices now. Even if I'm going to buy kinky and it's 5 Ghana cedis, I know with clear conscience that the price is 5 Ghana cedis. Not in some administration or some previous years where prices were never stable. Today you buy something at 5 cedis, tomorrow you are going to buy it at 7 cedis, the next day you are buying it at 8 cedis. Ghanaians were now in shambles, we're now in jungle. They don't know the stable price of commodities in the market. But now we know that prices are stable and some are even down. We should be happy than trying to play gimmicks and political just to score political points. It will not help us.
Yeah, so what I was saying is that the basic economics understanding is that when prices of goods are down, or let's say a bag of maize, the price of a bag of maize has gone down. The basic understanding is that how much a kinky is sold should also decrease, right? It has not decreased. So that means the deduction has no effect in the economy. Simple as that. I'm not making any. I'm not arguing with you. No, right? So let's get somewhere.
Mr. Abdullah, you heard that. Let's get
somewhere. Let's make progress.
Let's make progress, right? So let's dive into major discussion for this morning. And our first topic is government revokes LI 2462. Finally, this LI has been revoked. So the government of Ghana has officially revoked legislative instrument LI 2462. A controversial regulation that previously permitted the president to approve mining activities in forest reserves, a move critics said fueled environmental degradation and illegal mining, also known as galamsey. So the Environmental Protection, which is Mining in Forest Reserve, Revocation Instrument 2025, was laid before Parliament by the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, Emmanuel Kofi-Boah, and became law on December 10, 2025, after the required parliamentary period. With LI 2462 now repealed, all forms of mining in Ghana's forest reserves are banned under the current legal framework. Now, this LI, originally enacted in 2022, had drawn intense criticism from environmental advocates, civil society groups, and citizens who argued it opened protected forests to exploitation and undermined conservation efforts. Under the revoked law, nearly 90% of forest reserves have been exposed to mining pressures, threatening water bodies, biodiversity, and ecological balance. So, however, some critics, including the minority leader, which is the minority MP as well, have labeled the move as cosmetic, arguing that revoking the instrument alone will not halt illegal mining unless enforcement and community engagement and effective monitoring are strengthening across affected region. So, as you heard me read, the LI has been revoked. But in the first place, why was it enacted? Let me hear from you.
All right. Thank you very much. I want to thank your cherished listeners this morning. We are here again, and we are, not only going to do politics, but to speak to issues of national importance. So to begin with, why we had LI 2462? We must understand that mining has come to stay. It is not something we can stop completely. So having the understanding that mining is something that we cannot do away with completely, what we have to do is for us to be able to get the necessary laws that would regulate mining and its activities. This is not to say that people should be given the free will to mine without restrictions. Regulating mining activities using law is not something that I see to be an illegality, right? So to be able to curb, in some jurisdictions mining go on but they don't destroy the environment, just like we have in this country, where all forms of mining are destructive and all of that. So the importance of this LI was basically to regulate mining and mining activities, to be able to make sure that people mine responsibly without destroying the environment. Basically, that is the purpose of LI 246. But the revocation of the LI 246, I see it to be something good. I mean, we have called for it, and it has happened now. LI 246, simply, the revocation of it is something that I support, right? But the understanding is that revoking the LI automatically does not stop mining activities. And it will be cost 90 job to revoke LI 2462 and unleash your guys to go and attack NIMOS officials who are protecting our environment from environmental terrorists. It will be cost 90 job to revoke LI 2462 and you have MCs of the ruling government going into the forest to destroy environment. Atiwa is member of parliament, MC. The man is fighting with people over a land that court has put injunction on. Court says that, look, this particular land is on dispute or is in dispute. Do not enter into that land. He disregarded that and he went into the land, did his mining activities, and when they arrested his boys, he came to tell the police that, look, these people are my workers.
Let them go.
And we have that going on in this country. And you know what they do? The court only fined him 12,000 Ghana cedis. Wonderful. 12,000 Ghana cedis for a contempt of court. I mean, what is this? Look, let's be serious as a nation, right? Let's be serious. You have members of the NDC government, visibly, who are even members of parliament, right? Members of parliament, those that we should be taking our role model, we should be taking as our role models, right? Those that are supposed to make laws for us that will protect our environment. They have left their role as legislators and now they are in the bush mining with galamseyers. You have galamsey going on in the backyard of the Speaker of Parliament, Ndole Kaliu. That's the place. Serious. And if you look at the post by Erastus Asari Donko or the Western Media or something like that. Sorry, Upper West Media, right? They posted where galamsey is seriously destroying our water bodies. destroying our water bodies, and we think we are fighting Galamsey. No, look, we are saying that revoking the LI is not something extraordinary, right? So if you revoke the LI, right, you implement measures that will stop it, and that is the interest in execution, the interest in ensuring that you arrest people, put them behind bars. I mean, when President Mahama was coming, or prior to the elections, he told us that when they come into power, they will release the young boys who are into Galamsey, and that they are going to arrest the kingpins of Galamsey, right? The kingpins of Galamsey. This is what President Mahama said, and the videos are there for everyone to see. The kingpins of Galamsey are the small boys. The big boys, like the MC, the Atiwa West MC.
The big man. Yeah,
he's a kingpin of Galamsey. So you cannot find him 12,000 and let him go. I mean, what is this? The members of parliament who were involved in Galamsey, they should be put behind bars. You understand? Look, these people made Galamsey to appear as though NPP are those doing the Galamsey, and that when we leave power, we are not going to experience Galamsey in this country. Sabi Jenfi made this point clear. When we called on the minority then to come to the table for us to discuss how to go about the Galamsey issue, this man told us that we do not want to get associated with those who are doing with Galamseyers. That they don't want to be, seen, making an agreement or coming out with the plans with Galamseyers. That's what Sami Jenfi told us. And that when NPP leaves office, Galamsey is going to stop as soon as possible. Today, we are not in power. Has it stopped? No, it's still going on. It's still going on. Right? So it is, on the part of government, I see no interest in fighting Galamsey. And I stated this the last time, that they have not done anything different from the previous government. With regards to fight against Galamsey, they've not done anything different. That's the truth of the matter. And just yesterday, I saw that the Lance Minister has commissioned another 630 something blue water gas. Look, I don't know what this man is doing, right? You have military men who are in the forest. They are unable to stop Galamsey. Security men with guns. They are unable to stop Galamsey. And you are commissioning blue water gas who are not even allowed to possess firearms. What do you expect them to do in the bush? What are they going to do? What are we doing as a nation? Is it just about making useless job for the grassroots, or what are we doing? Because this is not the way to go. In any case, when they were in opposition, they told us that, and I heard Honorable Kofi Amabua, Honorable Sami Jenfi, Honorable Ablakwa, Honorable Haruna Idrisu, and a lot more in the NDC, saying that we should declare state of emergency. They called for state of emergency, right? Today they are in power and they are unable to do that state of emergency. Meanwhile, our water bodies are being destroyed, our water treatment plants are shut down, and a lot more are going on. They are doing nothing about it. And you expect us to clap for you because you have revoked LI 246. I mean, what is this? Let's not be funny.
Right. I'll hear from you again. Mr. Abdullahi,
Yes, please.
do you by any chance know why that particular law was actually enacted?
Thank you very much. I'm so much grateful. To you, and also I want to appreciate your cherished listeners for every time tuning into GhanaTalks Radio, a comprehensive, news station. Now, with the issue of LI 2462, that was propounded by the ex-Wal NPP administration. We shouldn't tickle ourselves, or we shouldn't sit down here and make mockery of ourselves, or make mockery of the situation that is threatening lives and that is destroying livelihoods of Ghanaians. If you look at the LI 2462, this LI was a mastermind LI by the NPP to allow their party apparatchiks and to allow their party mugus to mine directly into our forest reserves and our water bodies. What is so fascinating about this LI is that there is a component in the LI that gives the rights or the sole right to the president to allow or authorize mining directly into the forest reserves.
Into forest reserves.
Look at this wicked move and look at this dangerous move.
But don't you think that maybe probably...
Look, there is no any probably here. The reality of the issue is that the MPP or the then president Akufo-Addo had an interest in the bauxite mining that was supposed to take place at the Atiwa forest. The LI was just purposely to instigate the mining of bauxite at the Atiwa forest, where the president Akufo-Addo then had an interest in it. So we shouldn't be comfortable for the fact that that is what MPP has done to us. Now we are experiencing a new wave of leadership. We are experiencing leadership that is willing and ready to fight Galamsey to its core. And I stated it here the last time that it takes leadership, it takes commitment of government to be able to fight the canker of Galamsey. And we didn't see that leadership and we didn't see that commitment for the past 8 years of the MPP administration. And I'll say it again that NDC, our, should I say, nearly 11 to 12 months in office, fight against Galamsey is far better than MPP 8 years fight against Galamsey. And the records are clear. And you can't tell me that Galamsey started now. That is causing the rise in turbidity levels in our rivers like Ankobra, Pra, Tano, etc. And if you go to the last time Forestry Commission appeared before Parliament to brief them, about 89% of forest reserve has been carried away by illegal mining or by Galamsey activities. And we have 30 of our forest reserves has been also carried away by Galamsey activities. And my brother can tell me that all these 30% of our forest reserve just got lost within this twinkle of an eye when NDC came to power. That cannot be so. And you can't tell me that the turbidity levels in our water became high when NDC came into power. We saw a gross scheme at the system of the MPP normalizing Galamsey activities, making Galamsey look like it is now a system and institution on its own. And we remember the Alimio Anas expose where he exposed the route, the institutional route that the MPP government is creating as far as Galamsey is concerned, where we had a secretary to the interministerial committee against Galamsey caught in a live video allegedly taking bribe. That is Mr. Charles Bisiu. His name is very famous because of what? Galamsey, because of the bribe that he announced expose caught him with. What are we trying to say? What are we doing to ourselves as Ghanaians or as a country? We shouldn't be comparing MPP and NDC when it comes to the fight against Galamsey. The records are clear. Comparing NDC and MPP in the fight against Galamsey is just like comparing day and night. The difference are clear. You cannot compare us to the MPP. We were in this country whilst the MPP party executive goes to radio station, goes to TV stations and make bold, declaration that the party needs money. They should allow they should allow mining to take place. Honorable Horace Ekowusi, the then vice chairman of the Central Region, live interview stated it clearly that the major source of funding for the MPP is through what? Galamsey, or through mining. They seized excavators. They gave to this said man. The excavators disappeared within 10 years. And during the insertion and after 1957, when Ghana gained independence, this is the first time. This is the first time machines have disappeared. Machines have developed wings and disappeared in 10 years. Nothing has been done. So I can give you numerous of cases where high-profile members of the MPP were directly involved in Galamsey during their administration, but nothing was done. And this just came into power. Can he tell me how many of our party apparatchiks or how many of our party members are actively involved in Galamsey?
So please give me the opportunity. He asked a question.
He mentioned an MC.
When he's done,
he mentioned an MC who allegedly was fined for maybe engaging
this is
in
not alleged. You cannot use alleged. You see, I had this issue the last time. It is not allegedly.
It is very important. It is very important for us to.
It's fine.
It is very important for us to differentiate things here. It is now in NDC regime that we see the party or the system punishing its own people. That shows that this government is willing to fight this canker. That is if his argument stands. But we didn't see that in the past administration, where we saw live videos of bribery happening at the institutions that were set up to fight Galamsey. But in NDC, what betides any party, executive or a member of, the NDC actively engaging, and there are records, there are proofs or evidence backing that this person is a Galamseyer. NDC will not tolerate such an individual like what MPP is doing. You cannot claim to be fighting Galamsey once you use one hand to open our forest reserve for them to mine, and use one hand claiming that you are fighting this canker. So the revocation of the LI 2462, it is a call in the right direction. And when we were mounting during our campaign time, we promised Ghanaians that when the mandate is given to us, the NDC, we are coming to fight. We are coming to fight Galamsey head on. We are not going to fight Galamsey from the roots. We are going to make sure that it is a head-on fight against Galamsey. And you can see the NDC government is up to task since we came. Look at the initiative. Look at the policies we have rolled out in the fight against Galamsey.
Right.
And I know,
your time is
we know, he knows, and Ghanaians know that we cannot defeat the fight against Galamsey just 1 year.
Thank you.
Okay,
Mr. Razak, you've been itching for long.
Yes. So thank you very much. It is important we make this point that you had Joseph Yamin and other, NDC MPs going into the Galamsey pit to promise these people of free will to do Galamsey, right? My brother here mentioned that I should tell him members of their party who are visibly, or the big men in their party who are visibly into Galamsey, and I'll give you one. I'll give you about 3. We have Honorable Collins Dawda and his other accomplice. I've forgotten his name. The constituency is South and North. Both the two of them are into Galamsey.
Can you give me evidence? Can you give me evidence to what you are saying that Honorable Collins Dawda is engaged in Galamsey?
And I'm saying that I didn't say it.
It has to. You can find my facts. That
please, calm down.
You haven't allowed me to make my point.
Calm down, Mr. Abdullah.
Chas BCU.
I mean, you should be able to take it. Allow me to make my point.
I'll put off your mic.
So what I'm saying is that Honorable Collins Dawda and his other accomplice, it was reported by Honorable Erastus Asari Donko, or should I say Mr. Erastus Asari Donko, on his Facebook page. The things is so the post is so that you can go and check that Honorable Collins Dawda sent an MP to go and stop an operation that was seeking to arrest illegal miners, right? And that when the MP got there, he told them that these guys are my people, and I was sent by Honorable Collins Dawda to come and stop the operation, right? These people are into Galamsey. At your West MC, clearly he's into Galamsey. A court of competent jurisdiction found him guilty, right, and charged him of 12,000, a mere 12,000. So that's why I said you cannot use the word allegedly, because it is not an issue of allegation. He has been convicted, and when someone is convicted, the person is no more an alleged.
It is
an alleged criminal, right? It's a criminal,
the
right?
The system are working now.
Let me tell you this.
The system are working now. Tell me in the past.
You must allow me rebut, right?
Mr. I beg
you. Continue.
Thank you.
Yes. So it is important we understand that these people are facing the court of law, unless of course this guy is telling me that the court of law is NDC, then I will understand. Because if a court of competent jurisdiction is functioning, you do not try to say that the party is here working, right? And this is not the first time. He told me that some excavators were missing, right? And I'm telling you that today as we speak, we have excavators being missing. Honorable Mutala, may he so rest in peace. He reported that about 40% of excavators are missing already. In the first 1 month of these people. Look, at the end of their 4 years, we will see what they are going to do. And we will hold them to account for all of that. Because, look, we are watching as if we are not watching. But when we come back to power, these people, you will hear it.
NPP has lost the moral
But looking at you, the
Right.
previous administration enacting this particular law, was there a sort of problem they were trying to solve? That was why they had to.
Yeah, so if you listen to my submission earlier, I stated that mining is something that has come to stay. Whoever is telling you that he's going to stop mining completely is deceiving you. And because of that, we are supposed to find out or to lay down a procedure so that we can mine responsibly without destroying the environment. And how are we supposed to do that? We're supposed to do that through law. A lay down procedure, right? And not allowing people to mine haphazardly. That is what he was seeking to do.
A law that permits people to mine the
Please,
of
are you
forest
done?
reserves.
Are you done?
I'm sure he's done. You see, what he's saying is that he's a misplaced.
Are you him?
Oh, I'm sure he's done.
Are you
because
done?
When you ask it, look.
Yes, I'm done.
Yes, you see, what he's saying is a misplaced priority here. You can't tell me that the law seeks to govern, people to remain responsibly, whilst it is the same law that is giving the people the go ahead, the momentum to mine our forest reserve. What is he trying to tell us? So he's trying to tell us that the NPP is okay, or his name Abdul Razak, it's okay for the law to be enacted for people to mine in the forest of his hometown, in the rivers of his hometown, so that they will not get good water. Is it sometimes I say NPP, the issue of the issue of NPP is that they don't appreciate the suffering, they don't appreciate the conscience of ordinary Ghanaians. All that they think about themselves, all they think is about self gratification and self glorification. They are interested in making wealth for themselves and their party. That is what they are up to. Because I said it, that the reason why this LI 242 was enacted in the first place is to give President Akufo-Addo the authority for his bauxite, for his company to mine directly into the Atiwa forest.
You stated this. I didn't want to argue
and that
with
is
you,
why
but
gave
this is not-
him
this
the
is-
go
this is
ahead
not-
authority.
Do you have evidence to that?
If not,
Do you have
why
evidence
will
to that?
Why will he arrogate all the powers?
Do you
in
have
office?
evidence to that? Do you have
If I
evidence
want to
that?
mine in the forest, I have to go and seek for the authority from Akufo-Addo before I can go and mine in the forest. What is the notion? What was he hiding? Do you get it right? And I said, look, Akufo-Addo, in no any account or any other day that he has shown commitment or he has shown leadership to fight Galamsey.
You wanted to say something, Mr.
No, you see, these claims that my brother is making here, they are untruthful. They
What
are not,
untruthful?
They are
Go
not
and read,
factual.
go and read
Right.
about the
I have the LI. I have the
bauxite
LI.
mining, the
I
bauxite
said
mining.
I have
the
LI
bauxite mining
2462.
in the Atiwa forest.
All right.
You understand? I have LI 2462.
Who is the
and
master
I have
mind
read.
behind
I
that?
have
Let me
read.
listen to
I
you,
have
please.
read the purpose for the enactment of that LI. So you cannot tell me that. Okay, so what were your members of parliament doing? Couldn't they have said that? Look, this bill is not good, or this law is not good.
We kicked
It's
against
a lie.
we
You
kicked
people
against
voted
the
for it
bill.
in parliament. It's a lie.
When
It's a
environmental
lie.
experts, even civil societies were speaking against the bill, NPP cocked their ears.
No, please.
and
Let's not make
they passed the
untrue
bill.
statements.
All right.
We have cherished listeners.
So
listening to us.
the LI has finally been revoked. Do you
Removed,
see
certainly.
it's going to change how Galamsey is going on in our country? Do you think that there's a possible way it could help?
Certainly, now that we have a new administration that prioritizes our environment, and we have a president that is a chief and that is a respecter of the SDG goals, somebody who chairs the committee of SDG goals, who believes that Ghanaian environment must be protected at all costs, we are going to see a new wave that is coming to fight Galamsey rigorously. Now, the government has declared our forest reserves and our water bodies as a danger zone, as a no-go area. So now if they see any illegal miner at our forest reserve, then you are at your own risk. You are fighting the law, and any consequences or any effects that will come after you is you and your God, because the government has made it clear: don't go close to our forest reserve, don't go close to our our water bodies. Do you get it right? So the total revocation of the LI, for me, it is a half win. It's a half win as far as this Galamsey fight is concerned. It's a half win, and it must call for jubilation as far as this fight is concerned. And as I said, we cannot end Galamsey within a year. It is a systematic approach that this government is taking to fight Galamsey. And we now see what is happening at our ports. We now see there is excavator tracking you're referencing to make sure that if an excavator is coming to Ghana, who is the excavator for, where the excavator is going, and what purpose is the excavator brought into the country to do. We are fighting the root cause of Galamsey. Do you get it right? Not what we expect. And now we should even stop talking about MPP when it comes to the fight against Galamsey, because they didn't do any good to us. They are the reason why we are having temporary shutdown of our water system, because the turbidity levels are high. People are using mercury, silt in mining. Go to the mining areas. You will feel sad for our mothers, our sisters, our brothers, and the aged at those areas. Women are giving birth to deformed children, and the treatment of our water is not expensive, and that calls for the increment of the PUC increase our tariffs. All this is part because we need money to be able to treat the mess the MPP has caused. For me, MPP is the reason why Galamsey became very rampant. Galamsey became like a national anthem in this country.
Right. Thank you, Mr. Razak.
Yeah, so
do you think we have hope now that the LI has been revoked? Do you think there's going to be a sort of improvement in the fight against Galamsey?
I really don't think so, because look, I am looking at this from the point of government commitment to fighting Galamsey, and so far I have not seen that commitment, because you have the LI, even as at the time it was suspended, they were still issuing licenses for people to go and mine. It was reported by Joy News that over 35 licenses were issued by this government. So where is the interest? Where is the commitment? Right? And my brother mentioned that Galamsey cannot be stopped within a year.
Within a year.
Look, let me tell you. You people are a bunch of insincere, untruthful guys. Because look, you told us that Galamsey can be stopped within a week. And let me quote Honorable Sam George, that the man who is being paid to be president of this country can end Galamsey within a week. The videos are there. This is exactly what Sam George told us. So what are you telling me today? That you cannot stop Galamsey within a year, a whole year. Do you know about 12 months, 12? When you said you could do it in a week, what are you saying? And he made mention that today excavator can now be tracked because there's a system in place. And look, let me tell you, over the last 1 year or so in their government, Ghana became the highest importer of excavators. You can go and check it. Ghana became the highest to the extent that they were importing it at night. They don't want to do it daytime for people to see. They were bringing these excavators in the night.
All these are alleged.
Look, no. President Mahama made a statement on it. No, look. Please, let me make my point.
Please let him finish. I beg you.
Let me make my point. So I'm saying that, look, the revocation of the LI, as I have stated, is not really something that we should be jubilating or jumping over the roof for, because it doesn't mean anything. You have revoked it, fine. Is there interest? Is there commitment? No. Clearly there is no commitment. And so I don't have any hope. There's no hope.
There's no hope. He believes there's no hope.
In fact, opinions are like, notice everybody is entitled to one.
Yes. Exactly.
And for me, if you want to make claims, make claims that are factual.
Let's move on.
That are factual. Even the claims of the bringing in of excavators at night.
You said enough.
the minister came out to give explanation why those excavators were being moved, and it was not like the excavators were moved to a safer place. So sometimes if there is an issue at hand and they want to paint it as if there is illegality that is happening, that is where I don't understand their clear mind. Do you get right? We are winning this fight against Galamsey and trusting the NDC government. He said there's no commitment. He said there's no leadership. And I ask myself that if my brother truly understand what commitment is or what leadership is, he will not say that NDC government doesn't have commitment. If you say commitment, which president, which government promised that he's come to put his presidency on the line to fight Galamsey? Is it the NDC government?
And in fact, he did better.
No.
He did better.
Say he did better. He did better when they were giving him brown envelope and he stretched his hand to pick.
No, can you say this
he
in a
stretched
court
his hand
of law?
to pick.
Can you prove this in a court of law?
I said alleged, camera capture.
No. So now he's using alleged.
So we shouldn't be too much complacent about what the rot that your administration has kept Ghanaians through. Thank you.
All right, let's move on to our next topic. I know he's running away from the Galamsey issue.
Oh,
the revocation of the airline.
I'm not running away.
The MPP has failed. Hopefully, the MPP has failed. Hopefully, when it comes to
let's see what your government will do then.
You have seen.
Let's see.
We have seen.
It's just how many months? If I'm not mistaken, 11 months, right?
A year. Sorry, not 11.
No, it's not yet a year.
22nd.
7 January will be a year.
We are left with just about a week or so to end the year.
Almost doesn't mean we are there.
A year.
It looks like you're in a hurry for them, man.
Almost. We are not there yet.
Let's see. Your people said 1 week, but let's see.
We will fight this Galamsey.
Amen. Yes. We are hoping so.
To save motherland, Ghana.
All right, let's go on. This is a report coming from GSS, the Ghana Statistical Service, and they said 1.3 million young Ghanaians are idle as youth, and as a result of unemployment. And it keeps going on and on and on, and a lot of people are complaining about it. Yeah. So new figures from the Ghana Statistical Service show that youth unemployment and underutilization remain a major challenge for the country. As of the third quarter of 2025, more than 1.3 million young people aged 15 to 24 were not in education, employment or training. This represents 21.5% of young people in that age group, and the data reveal wide regional disparities. Net rates for people aged 15 to 35 were highest in the central region, which represent 25.3%, and the lowest in the OT region, which also represents 9.5%, highlighting unequal access to jobs, education, and training opportunities across the country. So beyond unemployment, many working Ghanaians are also underutilized. About 1 in 5 employed persons is either working fewer hours than desired or not fully using their skills. And the overall labor underutilization rate stood at 23.4% in the third quarter of the 2025. So that is this. Where is this problem stemming from? Is it that we are reading the wrong courses, and due to that we are not getting the right jobs, or there's no job in the country at all?
Thank you very much. And issues of unemployment is a serious issue, and it's an issue of national concern that all state actors must come on board to be able to fight this particular issue, because you all know that an idle hand is where the devil works or passes to work, and when there are no works, the youth will venture into so many dubious activities to be able to get survival. For me, the issue of unemployment stems from the Ghanaian, our system itself doesn't really give the youth the opportunity to be able to get something fending for themselves. You realize that these days a lot of people are going to school, a lot of people are being educated, but there are no jobs for the youth at the end of the day. We are so much interested in, getting certificates than creating jobs for the youth. And for me, government has a role to play as far as the unemployment is concerned. And the figures you are reading are so alarming. They are so disheartening. And for me, as an individual, I wouldn't, sit here to pretend that unemployment rate is not, surging. But it is better than where we took from. If you look at 2017, where the MPP took from, the unemployment rate was 12%. When they came, when you go to Ghana Statistical Service, you will see all these figures. The unemployment rate, when the MPP came, the unemployment rate keeps on increasing. It went to 15, it came to 14, it came to 13 in all their quarters. And one thing keeps ringing in my mind, that does MPP really prioritize the teeming youth of this country? And if they do, they will pay attention to the unemployment rate, to the teeming youth of this country and the suffering of this teeming youth. They will tell you, they brought NAPCO. What will NAPCO do? NAPCO is just a temporary gimmicks. It's just a temporary machinery to deviate the minds of the people. NAPCO collapsed. No, it collapsed to the extent that they are even owing NAPCO trainees. The Ghanaian youth don't need temporary measures. We need permanent jobs. We need skills that will be able to help the youth of this country to be able to get skills, acquire skills, to be able to live. The YA models that the MPP brought, a whole lot of talks, and he said talks not the full basket. It be real action. And that is why when the NDC were campaigning for Ghanaians to give us the nod to serve them, to correct the route of the MPP during the 2024 election, we brought up a deep-rooted initiative that we are coming to change the status quo of Ghanaian economy, and that is the 24-hour economy. 24-hour economy is not just a slogan. It's a game changer to the Ghana's employment sector. Now, the 24-hour economy, we are seeking to employ additional hands to be able to work for a single work that somebody will do, will not bring 3 people to do that work. The 24-hour economy seeks to boost production, seeks to check our export and import rates. That is what the 24-hour economy seeks to do. And as it stands now, the policy is in progress. We have rolled it out systematically. It is a policy that is very huge, that will take time to see the full reflection of it. Now the DVLA is running 24-hour economy. The ports are running 24-hour economy. The passport offices are running 24-hour economy. The customs and other state agencies are running 24-hour economy. So Ghanaian youth should be patient with the government as we, roll out the 24-hour economy policy to be able to assist the teeming youth that need substantive, that need solid work to do, not temporal work that the MPP promised the people of this country. The NDC government has again rolled out the Ejumawura program. Now the Ejumawura program seeks to also educate, seeks to mentor, seeks to give startup capital to Ghanaian youth that want to venture into soft skills. That is the kind of policies that we want, not NAPCO, models that are temporary. And now the Ejumawura policy, it has been rolled out. Training has begun, and you are going to see, the swiftness of it. And it seeks or it target to employ 10,000 of Ghanaian youth every year. So over the 4 years, we are looking at employing 40,000 Ghanaian youth into the Ejumawura project or policy. We have also launched the NAP project, that's the National Apprenticeship Program. Now the NAP is, our economy is so diversified, where we have welders, we have fitters, we have like a whole lot of stuff. So what we are going to do is that we are going to, employ youths that are interested in learning these skills. Do you get it right? Then we pay their masters and they'll come and learn the skill. Do you get it right? Then when you are done learning it, you get your certificate. The government will give you a what? A startup capital to be able to also start your own. That is the policies that we are looking for. Policy that will empower the youth. That will give the youth the momentum, the energy to feel that there is hope.
Right.
And one last thing. Before I draw curtains to this particular topic, is that we have launched the 1 million coders job, a digital job for the youth. And you know that not Ghana, now the whole world is turning to digitalization, or we are now moving to the digital economy. And that is what the NDC government seeks to do for the youth, digital jobs. So we are training the youth into website designing, coding, app designing, etc. And you know that these skills are now needed globally for somebody to excel. So training our youth in these particular things, will go a long way to drastically reduce the unemployment rate that stands now at 12.7 or 12.6%. And don't forget, when MPP was leaving power, the unemployment rate was 14.9%. Now we have seen a mild reduction of it, because of the policies the NDC government is implementing. And I'll come back to talk about the Women Development Bank. I'll come back to talk about the
established that yet.
project as well.
Yo, we've heard you. Thank you. You see, it was quiet. If you don't know, no, let me even put your mic off.
I'm happy that I kept quiet.
Yes.
Because what I'm going to say, I don't want interruptions.
Yes.
That's why I was quiet.
Good. So make sure. No, his microphone is off. So
my brother made a lot of untruthful statements and untruthful submission. I don't know the data he is quoting from. That we left office with unemployment rate at 14.something%. That is untrue. It is wrong. I don't know where he's getting that data. Maybe he should tell us where he's getting that data from. So my submission on this point, right? We are not surprised that this unemployment, the rate at which unemployment rate has gotten to. Me, I'm not surprised, because look, you have government that came into office, and the first thing they did is to discontinue, or to sack about 30,000 Ghanaian workers, and doing away with policy intervention that clearly, that this is an intervention that seeks to create job opportunities, and they are putting all that aside, right? And you don't know the kind of intervention they are bringing in to keep that solution. So definitely would have unemployment, because you have one district, one factory. Look, when every factory, or when there's a factory in every part of our country, what will be required is that people are going to be employed. People are going to be hired to execute a function and get paid, right? So this government, when they came, the first thing they did is to cancel one district, one factory. That policy, they cancelled it. Look at the Agenda 111. They said they are doing 10. What do you think that a hospital can do? Think about Agenda 111 hospitals across the country, and the number of nurses that the hospital will absorb, the number of doctors, the number of side jobs it will create. So you people come, and that is a clear vision. I don't know how they are thinking that they don't want to continue with all of them, that they are going to do only 10 of them. And the 10 of them, we are not even sure if they are going to be able to do it. And look, my brother here talked about temporary jobs. I'm not sure he has read their budget. The 2026 budget is seeking to create about 800,000 jobs, right? And that 500 of that jobs are coming from the construction sector. About 500,000 of that 800 is coming from the construction sector. So now the question is, after the construction project is done, what becomes of those people? Clear temporary job, but he's here speaking against it. So maybe you should table it before President Mahama that the temporary jobs are not going to help, because you people are creating temporary jobs of about 500,000 to Ghanaian youth, and after that they are going to be unemployed, right? Look, my brother here made mention that we left office with unemployment rate at 14 point something. So I'm reading this from Macro Trends, right? As at the time we left office, 2024, unemployment rate was at 3.01%.
Hey.
That is macro. I'm not the one saying it. Get your facts and let's compare. Right? Get your facts. Please, relax. And let me tell you that the first time we had unemployment rate at 6.81 was 2015 when they were in office. When Akufo-Addo took office in 2017, unemployment rate was at 3.37. He brought it to 3.37. In 2018, it was 3.25, a clear reduction of 5%. Unemployment rate. In 2019, we had about 3.16, clear reduction in unemployment rate. In 2020, it rose a bit, 3.31. In 2022, we had about 3.08 unemployment rate. 2023, it was 3.06, clear reduction. And in 2024, 3.01, clear reduction in unemployment rate. So it is untrue, it is false for my brother to make submission that we left unemployment rate at 14 point something percent. That's not true. And let me break it down. Government key initiatives and figures. In 2017, the public sector, we had about 100,000. Planting for food and jobs created about 745,000. It created about 745,000 jobs. NABCO over 100,000 jobs. Total claims, total jobs that we created in between 2017 to 2022 was about 2.1 million jobs. 2.1 million jobs. You people are not doing anything. Look, in any case, you promised us of 24-hour economy. 24-hour economy, I have made this submission and making it again. That when you implement 24-hour economy in the manner in which it was promised, we're going to have job surplus in this country.
Yeah.
Right? Job surplus, like everybody will be employed. And we'll even be required to bring people to come and work for us in this country. We'll go to Nigeria. There are so many. We'll get people to come and work for us in this country. But you people deceived Ghanaians. And today, look at unemployment rate, the first in our history. Even in the year 1999, the unemployment rate was at 10.46. When we didn't even have plenty people. Our population was so small. Today it's about 12 points. I mean, what is this? They're not doing anything. Ghanaians, look.
I'm just amazed from the figures you quoted.
Yes, so you get your figures. Get your figures. I have said this is from Statista, and there are another one from Macro Trends.
You can't be using
please.
MPP.
You see, so I was quiet. I was quiet when you were speaking. I was quiet when you were speaking. I was very quiet.
Mr. Abdullahi.
I was very quiet when you were speaking.
Mr. Abdullahi, please.
I was very quiet when you were speaking.
No, like I cannot be quiet when he's trying to mislead.
No, you said a whole lot of untruth.
I cannot be quiet.
I was quiet. You said a whole lot of things that are not factual. I kept quiet. When it is my turn,
so you see, we have stubborn under their hands.
Okay.
And we wouldn't allow that to continue.
It is sad. It is sad.
Ghanaians
it is sad that you cannot take the truth.
Of hardship.
It is sad that you can't take the truth. You can't take the truth.
And
it's sad.
It's okay. Thank you.
It's sad that my brother cannot take the truth.
It's fine.
I mean, this is a clear platform for us to make our submissions. You have made yours. You have to allow me make mine. Right? And coupled with the fact that I'm making a submission on data. I'm not just saying it. I'm making my submission on data. It's on data, right? I'm not just saying what I think. Right. It's something that has been compiled by a body. Right.
So what can we do what can we do as a country to curb this menace?
So what if you listen to what I have said? I'm telling you that look, the Akufo-Addo government had a visibly intelligent job creation policies. Right, and the last time I remember Honorable Amin saying that the government is undoing the good works of the NPP government. And when I heard that, I was very excited because I know that is the truth. Because in the year 2024, we did a growth rate of about 5.7%. These people came and in their first year they want to do in their budget in 2025 they did about 4.2 or so.
Yeah.
They did about 4 point something, not up to the growth rate we left at 5.7. So they are clearly undoing the good works. And look at one district, one factory as a policy. When you implement it, jobs will be there. Instead, you promise us 24-hour economy, and that when you come, you give the private sector incentives to work. We don't know whether we have private sector or not because nothing is happening. People are crying, no jobs, and on top of that, you are sacking Ghanaians who are duly employed just because you think they were employed under the SY administration. So you are just laying them off. I mean, what is it? What are we doing as a nation?
All right, Mr. Abdullah,
Oh.
briefly. What do you think government can do to reduce the numbers?
In fact, that is what government is doing. The NDC government is committed in reducing the teeming youth, the unemployment rate drastically. That is why, as stated, that we have rolled out a number of initiatives and policies that is targeted in creating a strong, employment foundation for this country. And since Ghana gained independence from 1957, there has not been any government that is bringing unemployment accelerated policies like John Dramani Mahama administration is doing. We promised the Women Development Bank when we were campaigning in 2024. Yes, there has been a budgetary allocation for this particular project.
Budgetary allocation of 50
willing,
million. 50 million. Look, the requirement is 400 million.
All right,
You do not have interest in that.
Mr.
The budgetary allocation is 40 million, 50 million.
We get 400 million.
Meanwhile, the requirement for an establishment. Go and read at 9:30. Go and read at 9:30. Read at 9:30. The basic requirement is 400 million. You have just allocated 50 million.
Let me make my
So
point.
you have no interest in that.
So let him make his point.
I'm still building
No,
a
this
point.
guy
I'm
is
not even
misleading us.
landed.
He's misleading us.
I'm saying that our first quarter we made a budgetary allocation of 100 million. Now, when Atufosin went to Parliament again, he allocated another 400 million, making 500. What are you trying to tell me? Now the project it has ripened. That is ready for execution, and God willing, the early days of 2026, we are going to see the full rolling out of the Women Development Bank that will give our mothers, our ladies, our wives soft loans that will be able to, and this bank, one beautiful thing about this bank is that it's going to be owned and managed by only women.
Okay.
So just imagine the kind of jobs this bank is going to create. Look at the Nkoko Nkitigiti project. My chief is no good, so
it's fine.
The Nkoko Kitikiti project. Now the Nkoko Kitikiti project. If you look at this particular project, this project seeks to what? Boost the agri sector. It seeks to make the poultry industry booming and attractive for the Ghanaian youth to venture. And these are the kind of jobs and praises we should be giving to this government than quoting figures from the pro MPP data analysts claiming that it reflects the true of what is happening on grounds. I'm quoting facts from Ghana Statistical Service, and I will repeat it again that during when MPP was leaving power, our unemployment rate stood at 13.7%.
Let me see your data.
You cannot.
Right.
So now he has reduced it to 30.
No, it's 14.
Initially.
It's 14.
All right.
All right. Read it.
Okay.
So you shouldn't be sitting down here just because of your personal and peripheral interest, making allegations and facts that are true.
Okay.
Give my phone.
Cherry, are you sure these are your figures? He can't even read.
He can't even read. He can't even read. He can't even read. I gave him a data to watch, but he can't even read.
Your data is unreliable.
Let's move on. Let's look at our last topic briefly, then we'll call it a wrap.
You can read. Read. We are comparing 2022 to 2023. We will go to 2024.
So who conducted this?
Check the headline. I say who conducted it. I gave you something. I say who conducted it.
But you know I can sit down and draw this.
That is what I'm saying. That the data you just mentioned is concocted by the MPP data analyst.
Okay. let's look at this briefly. We won't keep long on this topic. So, Oforata fights extradition with top lawyers. There's been new developments on Oforata's issue. I think last week, the Attorney General came out to brief us, just as people say that, why are you having press conference with the media and then with the people of Ghana? Why don't you just go to court and then go and do your things there?
I mean, this is the first time we have this kind of attorney.
So there's a new development to the case where Oforata is employing top lawyers in the US to fight the extradition process. And then yesterday we saw also in the news that Manasseh Azuri is also suggesting that why don't we fight it through diplomacy, where we will mount pressure on the government, protest, organize a peaceful protest and make sure that we put pressure on the government to bring Oforata back. There's another one also that if you don't take time and Oforata go and say that this thing, as a politics have been political motivation, there's been some, they are trying to politicize this whole issue. It's going to take us ages to see Ken Oforata come back and then come and account for whatever he has been. Yeah. What can you say to all these developments to this particular case?
You taking me first, though?
Yeah, let me take you first.
Okay. So
make sure you don't come in.
No, I wasn't saying.
All right.
I am one of the many Ghanaians that would be happy that Ken Oforata is brought back to account for his stewardship. I mean, my boss always tells me that, look, the first day they called him to pick public office, an appointment to serve as a minister, he knew that there was a day that he would account for his stewardship. And so for everybody that is in a public office, you should be, you should have it at the back of your mind that after you have left, you will be required to account for your stewardship. And so I would be one of the many Ghanaians that would be happy that he's brought back to account for his stewardship. But there are fundamental things that we need to look at. And one, is there, is the government of the day disregarding the law? This is a question that I would say yes, or let's say, to some extent I would say yes, because look, when they came into office, we all saw what happened to Mr. Wontumi. Chairman Wontumi, we saw what happened. Chairman Wontumi was arrested by the Iyoko, and the day they brought him out, we saw him limping. We don't know what happened to him, but he was limping, signaling that he wasn't that well. As to what happened, we cannot tell, or I cannot tell.
Yeah.
Right? So if there is a disregard for the law, let's assume that they disregarded the law and treated him in a manner that is not right. Because you have Article 14.3 of the Constitution that says that you cannot keep someone in detention for over 48 hours. If you arrest anybody and then it's about 48 hours, you process the person to go to court to face trial. But what happened with Akunta Mining boss, Mr. Wontumi, was that Mr. Wontumi was kept in detention for over a month, right? Contrary to Article 14.3 of the 1992 Constitution. Look, I'm building something, so please pay attention and get me right. Contrary to Article 14.3 of the 1992 Constitution, what it means is that if Ken Oforata is brought back into this country, there's a tendency that he will be treated inhumanly or unlawfully. Right? That belief is there because of what has happened when they came into office. And there's a principle in international law that says that the principle of non-refoulement, that if there's substantial grounds to believe that if you refoul this person to this country, the person is going to be treated
in an
inhuman form, or they are going to torture him.
Yeah.
That if there is, satisfactorily proving grounds that the person is not going to be treated right, then the person will not be refouled back to the country. That is Article 3 of the Convention, of the UN Convention Against Torture. It says clearly, I don't know if you can give me time to read. Article 3 of the UN Convention Against Torture. No state party shall expel, return, or extradite a person to another state where there are substantial grounds for believing that he will be in danger of being subjected to torture. This is Article 3 of UN Charter. UN Convention Against Torture. Ghana is a signatory to this charter. And so what I'm saying is that we are maybe going to be required to abide by this article.
Right.
Because Ken Ofori-Atta has seen what has happened. And I'm sure that's why he's hiring top lawyers to fight against the extradition. Because he has seen what has happened, and he believes that when he's brought back into the country, he's going to be tortured.
But do you think we will torture him?
Yes, I believe that it will happen.
But
look at what happened. Look at what happened to
in what way is it? He's just coming to answer questions, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, so the understanding is that Ken Ofori-Atta was supposed to come and answer questions, right?
Yes.
Look at the manner in which it happened. You have OSP pursuing this man even without charges. Following the man giddy without even charges, right? That tells you that there's not going to be peaceful process. Because if you can follow me giddy without even a charge on my head, what are you looking for? And you have people, incidents of that nature happening. Or that has happened. Wontumi is a clear example. Lawyer Martin Kpebu was arrested. This is something that sparked a lot of controversies. Some of us believe that because of his political affiliation, that is why maybe the government took a stance that they wanted to take off the office. But you see, the truth of the matter is that that's not even the important part of it. My question is, was there a disregard for the law in the arrest of Honorable Lawyer Martin Kpebu? I would say yes. Because this was a civil case. It was not a criminal case. The Office of Special Prosecutor is purposely to deal with issues of corruption and its related activities. So it was completely ultra-virus for the OSP to arrest Martin Kpebu on a civil case. In any case, a civil case, you go to court. Right? You go and make your case in court. Yes. The person will have a right to defend himself. You don't arrest him. Right. So there are substantial grounds to believe that when this man is landed, enters the shores of this country, he's going to be tortured. And I'm sure that is why he's fighting his extradition. But I am not supporting the fact that he's fighting that extradition. As I've stated, that when he's brought back to face, to account for his stewardship, I'll be very happy.
Yeah.
But the circumstances surrounding it is what I'm making, this submission for.
Right.
Yes, sure.
Thank you.
Thank you. You see, the issue of Ken Ofori-Atta, Nanaya was also Atta, is for me as one that has should I say, for many people is now beginning to lose interest in it. Because I mean, you cannot be fighting someone for almost a year now to no avail. And for me, I will blame I should have added it.
This is 10. Let him finish.
I will blame the Office of the Special Prosecutor
for all of this.
For all this, because you cannot start something that you cannot end. If you knew that you cannot handle this case or you can't handle this issue, you should have left or given the docket to Attorney General when they requested it. But you felt to keep it, because for me, I will always stand with my point that the Office of the Special Prosecutor has a linkage with Ken Ofori-Atta. And they are doing or conniving to make sure that this issue is drilled, this issue delayed, so that Ghanaians will feel like maybe the NDC government is not doing justice or is not doing good. But I mean, I've listened to the Attorney General when he was doing press conference about this issue, that we should be patient, we should trust him, that he doesn't fear the top lawyers that Ken Ofori-Atta has hired to fight his extradition. So for me, and I believe Attorney General, that is going to do
what it takes
to make sure that Ken Ofori-Atta is brought back to this country. So let's have patience with him. And expect that
he comes back.
He comes back to face the law, because he has stolen. He has looted. Look at the number of scandals.
I don't think it's right for you to say that, because you don't have evidence to it. It's only right now. It's only
they say we should say alleged.
The courts that can say.
They say we should use alleged. Yeah. Look at how it is being alleged. The number of millions.
78.
But why?
Right, let me hear from you briefly. Our time is already long.
So I'm saying that I was trying to make a submission.
I thought you were done.
Yeah, he's done.
Yes.
I was trying to make a submission that the Attorney General, I respect him so much. He's someone that I believe when it comes to the knowledge on the law is not in doubt. But you see, I begin to feel that the office, I don't know whether there's pressure on him to do certain things that are not, that are not lawful, should I say. Because you have someone that will first of all come to the court of public opinion instead of court of competent jurisdiction to lay claims and declare people guilty of offences without even charging them. Right? That I'm not sure that is the law. The law in Article 19(2)(c) that whoever is arrested should be, innocent until the person is proven or pleaded guilty. Right? So when you come to the media to declare people guilty of an offense, even without charging them in the first place, I'm not sure that is what the law says, right? And also his approach is as though he likes the public favor, or should I say public praises, instead of following due process. Because all the things that Attorney General has done, that even the OSP, that you can charge the man in absentia. You can execute the case in absentia. And in the case of Sedinam Tamaklu, she was convicted in absentia. And we are on Attorney General to extradite her back. He hasn't been able to do that. So we are saying that you can convict the person in absentia. Make your case in court. The person will bring his legal representation. Right? So, but this didn't happen. They were just there making noise and shouting, knowing that there's a procedure that when someone is not in the jurisdiction, in the first place, Ken Oforiatta told us he was sick. And so, because of that, he could.
It's not sick there.
That's fine. That's your point. That's your
In fact, that is not
opinion.
My thought. That is what everybody's
so,
going to believe. He's hiding. He's taking refuge in US. The US authorities should just hand over Ken Oforiatta to us.
You've taken part of my time.
My time was not even out there. You took me out and gave it to him. I'm waiting patiently for you to give me to do my closing remarks.
Okay, that is coming. So
yeah, so it is time the Attorney General reorganize himself with the way he goes about some of these things. Right. You can't be giving Ghanaian. That's why people are getting tired of him. Always coming to the media to lay claims. Update. And then they are telling you go to court and you say give us time. I mean, it's funny. It's funny.
Your last words.
My last words. So I thank the listeners, and I thank yourself and the entire production team here. I also extend my greetings to the people of Yagba Kubari. I greet whoever is listening to this. Thank you very much, and may God bless you.
Thank you too for making time for us. In as much as you were sick, you still had to come for us. Thank you so much. You are grateful.
You can see from my
yes,
my
I
voice.
saw that. Thank you. The passion for the job.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not forgetting you. What do you want to say?
So thank you very much. I just want to, really call my point and my stand that the country is moving in a right direction. All indicators are proving that the country is bouncing back, the economy is bouncing back. The unemployment rate we are experiencing now is going to be reduced when all policies of the government, drive to create job for the youth is rolled out. And with the issue of Galamsey, they should trust the government to fight, and we are fighting the issue of Galamsey with all sincerity, and we'll be truthful and honest with Ghanaians, not to lie, not to be accountable to Ghanaians like what we experience. This is a new wave of leadership and commitment to fight this canker is there. And I want to also use this opportunity to thank your cherished listeners for having time and patience to tune into the station and also to enjoy our discussion. And I want to also thank my boss, the YA Director for Northern Region, Honorable Believer Lukpama Mumuni. He stands with the youth of the Northern Region, and he's a new hope and a new vision for the youth of Northern Region. Thank you very much.
Thank you too. Thank you too for doing the list. I was checking if we have comments. You have comments. Let me read them before we go. So this is from Ibrahim. MPP guy, stop lying about Galamsey. Which former president promised Ghanaians he will put his presidency on the line? He did. This one is from FY Corn. He did promise, but he couldn't commit at all. So this is from Ibrahim. Galamsey, Nanado really disappointed Ghanaians. I'm sure Ibrahim again. Ibrahim again. Which planting of food and job is he referring to? This MPP guy thinks mention figures is easy. He should stop paddling falsehood to the public. This is from Mohammed Salifu.
Which media? Sometimes these figures are cooked from MPP data analysis.
So
this data, what data records? let's seek to Ghana Statistical Service.
So Mohammed Salifu, let's listen to this.
Not the MPP one.
So
the one
Mohammed
Dr.
Salifu, good morning to you, the host, and to the panelists. With due respect, the representative of the NPP is not speaking based on verified facts. The figures he is presenting appear to be inaccurate and do not correspond with data from the Ghana Statistical Service or any credible official source. It is important that discussion of this nature are grounded in factual, transparent, and publicly available data to ensure an informed and honest engagement with the public.
The data is there. Maybe
I gave you. You say you can read. Didn't I give you my own?
This one is in respect of the jobs. It's not about the unemployment rate. But the unemployment rate, I gave you where I got the data from.
I gave you my own. I gave you my phone to read.
No.
What
you posted is Joy News. Joy News. Is it Joy News online or something? That cannot.
Picking fees from Ghana Statistical Service.
No.
They took their data.
Get it from Ghana Statistical Service itself, not Joy News. These are news source.
Who are those controlling Joy News?
What I'm saying is that
news source are doing the work of the
news source may not be factual, right?
Okay,
news
so
source may not be factual.
This is from Baman Paul Matua. Sorry if I don't pronounce the name properly. I'm really enjoying the discussion. From him again, even the NDC communicator is unemployed. From him again, the NPP communicator has handled him well. Pa. Oh, nice. So he has cooked you. All right, thank you so much, and thank you to our Facebook and our YouTube fans for the comments, for the lovely comments. We really enjoyed ourselves right here in the studios. And thank you to our panelists, our knowledgeable panelists, for doing the talking. Thank you so much. We'll meet same time tomorrow, same day. Do have a lovely day.